Audio now. Audio there. Oh, I don't use that one, so I'll turn that one off. I forgot what that one was for. Right. Good evening, people. And persons. And then I read a chat from Stewie, the thing, choking the chicken. Now what is he talking about? Jeez.
Milking donkeys.
I just randomly looked straight at that. Okay. Audio low, audio here.
Don't randomly read the chat. That's a bad idea.
Oh, okay. Audio low, audio here. How can audio be low? Oh, audio now. I had the mouse over the thing and I thought it said audio low. That was a clever one. Steve, what you up to? Oh, look, we could watch this. How about we do the live stream of this this live stream. Is it frozen? The image? It is playing, isn't it?
What image?
The live. Oh, well, I'm not sharing it to you guys. It's out in YouTube.
Oh, well.
Don't see anything in YouTube yet.
Oh, it'll come up in 20 seconds.
Oh.
Refreshing.
It should be. Everything's showing it is on my end.
I can see it.
Right, there
I
we
can
go.
see someone's big balls.
Hey, Blue, the only way we know this is working is if that timer's going. Is the timer actually moving?
The timer is actually moving, Terry. Yeah, I can see the timer moving.
Okay. And is the laser actually moving? Is it moving to the left by the look of it? So that means shit, what's the name of the word for the other one?
I prefer actually looking through the window and looking at the vernier scale.
That's it, the vernier scale.
Yeah, I was going to say, the scale looks like it's
thanks, Alan.
To the right a little bit.
You got me out
the
of
vernier scale is definitely...
I was trying to think of the name. I was thinking scale and oh shit, vernier scale.
Well,
it's moving to the right. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, remember the vernier scale and the laser dot are opposite each other. When the vernier moves to the right, the laser moves to the left.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Opposites attract or something. I don't know.
Opposite and equal.
No, it's more like shit happens.
I could rewind it if you just want to watch it from the beginning.
I can't believe that Jason really believes that the Cavendish is electrostatic.
Okay.
Because air blowing over the balls, charging them up opposite ways.
Wouldn't that be something that would discredit that sort of thing if we had some sort of apparatus that was near there that was actually showing that there was any air movement? You know, like they put those streamers on air conditioners to show the airflow.
Yeah. And one of the so of course it's electrostatics, not gravity, providing the force. So I asked him, what happens when you change the material you make the case out of, so that it has a different relative permittivity? Or you just even change the thickness of the material the cabinet's made out of. Because either one of those two things will change the electrostatic force between the two bloody balls.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, blowing on your balls definitely will charge them.
That depends on who's blowing on them.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Way too many ball jokes.
Sorry, Blue. Couldn't help it.
That's okay. I do it all the time, too.
Hot air would expand the balls, so cold air should make them. You get a bit of shrinkage, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Need to go move my yellow circle. It's
Yeah, your little
this thing's drifting
your circle's not catching up.
Yeah, I'll go fix that. Be back.
Okay. You have to train your circles. No, we're going to see this live, by the look of it. And then we'll duck over to Craig's. And then we'll duck over to Craig's debate. I'll rewind it back if it's not stopped. It's still going. Guess I'll look. I think I can change. Can I change scenes mid? No, I can't.
You should be able to.
Yeah, but if I go to YouTube, yeah, but if I change tabs, I'll change the scene. It'll change the program that's showing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to open a new window.
Oh yeah. In other words, I'd have to have more than one monitor because I've run out of room on this monitor for what I do.
Well, Terry.
Yeah, or just have them stacked.
Yeah, I was going to say, Terry, you don't actually have to see every window all of the time.
Yeah, I could layer them somehow underneath.
Lies and slander.
I mean, I've got 2 monitors and I've still got windows stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, I've got 2 monitors and I've got a ton of windows stacked on top of each other. I could have 3 windows and I'd probably still have stuff stacked on top of each other.
Well, I'll go back. I'm going back to the start of Craig's. We'll leave that ready. We'll go back to that.
Oh, is that a food cult?
Yeah. It's I've seen the video that they use. It's some guy built it in like an empty high-rise or something. So he's inside a large concrete room. I think it's like an abandoned stairwell or something. So there's no outside wind or other forces.
What are you looking at?
The picture that you were showing with the ball and the green line on the ground.
Oh, that was in Craig's live stream.
Yeah, because of course you're not actually showing it to us internally, so we're having to watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going back to Blues 1 now.
Well,
I just wanted to.
That folk cult was done by some students in I forget which university, but in one of
is
the
it
dorms,
students?
and
Okay.
they did it. Yeah, and they did it in a stairwell at their dorm.
Okay. I had heard something else, but students would make sense as well.
Yeah.
I've lost the thing here. Oh, you can't do it that way. Ah, shit. I forgot.
Did you do? What did you do?
Nothing. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. That's when you go to share, you can't do something. You gotta. Yeah. Okay. Back to that. Are you able to go back to there on that, and then go to speed, pump it up to say 2, that's fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's as fast as it'll go.
called double time.
Yeah.
It is.
So nice.
It is playing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a double speed.
Well, it still looks like you've got the video paused at the minute.
Yeah.
No, it just says pause there. Let's play.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I got it at double speed.
Oh yeah, now I can see that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's moving at all, though. Oh, no, it is.
Yeah, but that's a double.
Okay.
That's a
It's
double
just a really long
speed.
video.
I can't go any faster.
It doesn't move very fast.
No.
Yeah,
That's all.
And I just remembered, I get absolutely crap frame rates out of shared video in the Zoom window these days.
Yeah, I've only got 30 frames a second coming through OBS.
Yeah, but you get 30 frames a second from going out to YouTube on the YouTube stream, so it's not going through Zoom, and that plays back fine. Well, when it eventually gets there.
You're streaming out 30, but Alan's only getting about 10, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
No, I get about 1 frame a second, it feels like.
Oh, okay. It's just a slideshow.
I'm literally I'm literally seeing the laser dot go step, 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 step.
Well, that's what it's doing for me too. So I don't know if that's. I think that's just because the laser is moving very slowly.
I think it's just because
Well, here it's hitting the blue circle.
Zoom is really crapping these days.
Does it go past the blue circle from the original setting for where the blue circle was put? Or did it not make it? Oh, it didn't quite go all the way into the blue circle.
No.
Well, it's settling down, so it might not.
Oh, is that circle supposed to be blue?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was blue.
I thought it was magenta.
No, it's definitely closer to a blue.
I don't know these weird names of colours. I only know red, blue, green, yellow colours.
That's a brand new piece of half-hard 30-gauge copper wire that I acquired, and I work hardened it just a little bit too. So it's only been in there for 4 or 5 hours now. So it's trying to settle down. It's going to wobble around for a bit.
Ah, nice.
But if it reduces its distance of oscillation from the blue circle to the yellow circle, you'll know it's doing its job, as in slowing down.
Yeah, it has to slow down.
Yeah.
The only way it doesn't slow down is if we're influencing it by adding a force of some sort. Now we can speed it back up again just by moving those big balls around.
No.
But right now the balls are in the resting spot. They're equidistant from the little balls, the little Nathan balls.
Well, okay, we're coming up to the yellow circle again. Oh, this is back further, so this is not current.
Yeah, it's going to overshoot it. I'm sure it's going to overshoot this.
Right, so it overshot to the left on the yellow, and it didn't quite overshoot the blue. So what does that mean for the oscillation? That's on the verniers. I didn't just see what it was reading.
What does it mean? It means means it's asymmetric. It means the wire is untwisting itself.
Yeah, but if it's moving too far to the right of the vernier than the left, you have to calibrate the central position eventually again to center it.
Yeah, I'll move it again to get it centered. But right now, I think I'm going to do nothing to it just because
Yeah.
it's drifting. Center is drifting.
Right.
That's what this is telling me.
Mm-hmm.
It goes upscale into almost into the blue thing and then overshoots downscale. So
Okay.
0 is moving. We've got to let it settle now.
Okay, I'll jump
And that may be a
forward.
process that takes several days.
Yeah. Oh, you moved the blue there. Where did you move that? Oh, back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just somewhere here. Yeah. Back in here. Yep. Just after this. Yeah, you moved the blue to the left a bit more. Oh, it's wobbling around. You must have touched it.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You blew it. You moved the blue one. That was back there. Now you haven't moved the yellow one from that point up until just then.
Yeah. Right.
Till there.
Now it's going even further left.
Oh wow, yeah, it's drifting quite a bit.
Yeah, and then you'll move it after this.
Yeah, probably the best thing I can do is just forget about the circles and let it get stable. And that may take 2 days.
All right. Now you've been doing this for quite a bit now. How long have you been running the experiment or setting up for it and stuff?
A couple of months now, off and on.
Yeah.
Trying different wires to see, just to see how they behave. Really, I've been trying to find one that's similar to what Cavendish said he used. The trouble is Cavendish didn't really say what he used, other than
okay.
he gave a very loose description of a silvered copper wire. That's what he said it was. Only one, and he said what the weight of it was. So of course, if you've got the weight per unit foot or unit length, you can equate that to a wire gauge in today's method of measuring stuff, right? So
Yeah, you can find something of equal
yeah.
mass.
yeah. So it equated to about a 30 gauge wire, and I was quite happy that I would have no problem if I'd try some steel wires and play with them a little bit, and then just go get some copper, 30 gauge copper, silvered copper wire, and do it the way Cavendish did it. And then I found out that modern copper, of course, is 99.9% pure copper. Our refining processes and techniques are excellent.
Right.
I doubt that ability. I doubt they had that ability in 1798.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance that what Cavendish was using was some copper alloy, maybe copper tin, alloy.
Yeah, like a bronze or a brass.
Yeah, because when I've tried to use copper, it doesn't have enough tensile strength to support the weight of the small balls and the torsion balance beam, which is actually only just slightly less than what Cavendish used. I'm using the same size small weights as he used, or was using the same size. But I changed those out those were 780 grams a piece. These that are in there right now are 336 gram weights. Wanted to play with that too.
Okay.
I've got lots of time on my hands, so why not take advantage of it and just see how different combinations of torsion wire and mass work with each other.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I didn't know. You know, I went through all of that stuff to start with, and I think everybody saw the engineering that went into this. But still, you don't know, you know, for sure. I didn't know what a steel wire was going to do, and I ended up thinking, well, it needs to be 0.007 or 0.008 inch diameter steel wire, and I predicted the oscillation period for a wire like that, and it came damned close to it, to the original predictions. And oddly enough, it's starting to look like the first thing I wanted to use, the first thing I tried, the test wire, which was that 8,000th inch steel wire, has actually been the best one so far.
Now, when you were making those predictions on the oscillation, did you have an equation that you were using for that, or?
Yeah, you calculate.
It's funny how math works like that.
Well, you calculate the moment of inertia of the balance itself. You figure out the characteristics of the material that you're using. You figure out what the modulus is for it.
Your video explained all that, didn't it? The one you put up about all the technical stuff?
Yeah, it's a fairly routine. So actually, to predict the period of oscillation, to actually be able to predict it is a good bit more complicated than the video I did. But I could go through that sometime.
Right. Yeah.
It's not all that. It's not all that tough.
No. I was just bringing up the point that you know, we have equations that you can plug numbers into, and you get answers that you expect out of them, and then we can test. And you know, there might be a few factors that are missed in those equations, so it's not the exact same, but you know, you can get pretty close using those.
Oh yeah, within pretty much within the limits of the material.
Yeah.
There's going to be some variability. I mean, you know, there's a tolerance on everything. Just because you ordered 0.008 diameter wire doesn't mean it's not 0.00805. You know?
Right. Yeah, it might be a little bit off, whatever their margin of error is.
Sure.
Gary, because maybe he wanted to do his own experiment and use his own materials to see how those would affect the experiment.
Well, not just using his own materials, but replicating the materials that were used in the original experiment. So.
Right. Well, that too.
This is the only replica Cavendish experiment I've ever seen. I mean, true.
It's the only one.
Replica.
Yeah.
They all work on the same principle.
Oh, do they not do replicas? They just do a similar setup.
They replicate the procedure and the function, but not the materials and all that.
Which is fair, yeah.
Well, the ones you use in college are it's a little box that's maybe a foot long, maybe an inch thick, and it's got little tiny torsion balance weights on it. The torsion wire in it is not a wire; it's a ribbon. They use I think glass ribbon is what they use. But you know, the principle of operation of it is exactly like this is, but it's not physically anywhere close to the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a scaled model to teach the principle or principles.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it does a good job if you do it right. But it's tiny compared to this thing. I was trying to get back to something close to what Cavendish used.
Sure. Well, that's really cool.
You immediately run into issues in that Cavendish used. Those are 6-inch diameter balls, the large ones. Cavendish used about a 12-inch diameter. These balls weigh 50 pounds apiece. The ones Cavendish used weighed 350 pounds apiece.
Well, you had two choices, Blue. You could have either raised the roof of your garage or reduced the scale of the apparatus.
Well, that was the other issue. Yeah, to make it 6 feet long, this is 4 feet. This has a 4-foot torsion balance in it. Cavendish had a 6-foot torsion balance in his, but that just makes everything that much bigger, that much taller, and I don't have that much room out there. I've got an 8-foot ceiling restriction. So, you know, number one, 350 pounds of lead is going to be expensive. I don't know where I would go to get that sphere that size cast in the first place. Don't know anybody that does that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'd spend thousands of dollars getting that done. And then I'd end up with 350-pound lead balls that I can't pick up.
Well, at least they're spherical. You can roll them out there.
Yeah, you can roll them around.
It's just getting them onto the torsion balance that's going to be the problem.
There you go, Blue. It's drifted to the outside the circle on that one.
Yep. It's deceptive. You got to think about that. Those balls there. Those are, like I said, 6 inches, slightly over 6 inches in diameter. But the damn thing weighs 50 pounds. You got to try to pick it. You got to try to pick it up, and it's hard to pick it up. It's hard to get your hands under it. Yeah, it's hard to get your hands under it. It's not that 50 pounds is heavy. That's not heavy at all. I mean, that's nothing. But it's just the shape of that being a little compact sphere like that. Trying to pick the damn thing up, pain in the neck.
No, I had one of my old ups was about 70, 80 pounds, but it was small because it was all in like the battery, and so like you pick it up and it would feel heavier just because it's all in a small space. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I couldn't imagine if it was round, so you don't have anything to actually grip onto.
Yeah, there's nothing to hold on to.
Do you need to move your circle again, Blue, or not?
Probably.
Yeah,
I'll go move it again.
Okay.
But anyway, we can come back to this later.
We can come back to it later. Yeah, that's what we could have it playing the whole time we're streaming, but I don't think everyone, and I might put some people to sleep, Blue. Okay. Stop sharing that for you. Go back to... Well, I did want to play the start of Fight the Flat Earth to know who this person was, and we'll jump through it a little bit here and there, because typical. What do you got there? If I share that one, you'll have that. Now this is going back.
You mentioned real world experiences.
Can you pause it for a second? Sorry. Gary, he just said that he's not doing what they did because they used too small of a scale and he wanted to use a larger scale. Like, it's pretty simple. No.
If you can't find what Cavendish used, laugh out loud. It's not that we can't find it. It's like that same story with the moon thing where why can't we go back to the moon or whatever with the same technology we had in the 60s? Yeah. Trying to replicate the materials.
Yeah, and the other thing is Cavendish didn't say like the exact makeup of the alloy of the wires and stuff like that. Like Blue was saying, he said that it was a silvered copper wire. Okay, but that doesn't tell him exactly what it is. But he has enough information to get close so that it turns out to work out to the same.
Well, you look at the technology back in the late 1700s. Did they even have windings for electrical generators? Even, you know, for the materials that they used for that, you know, the copper, and you know, they were only just developing stuff like that back then.
No, Gary, those are accurate. It's a different scale. If you scale things, you will have to change the materials so that the weight and the everything is appropriate.
Like a car engine, you can make a car engine 10 meters, or you can make it half a meter. It's still an engine.
Well,
it's still an engine.
Yeah.
It's just scaled down.
Yeah, look at an engine in like in a go-kart versus an engine in a train.
Yeah.
You know, you can have the same type of engine in both, but they're not going to be the same size.
Yeah, that's it. You try to put a train engine on a go-kart.
Oh God.
Or a go-kart engine to drive a train.
Everyday experiences. We experience the world as being level and flat throughout. I'm not sure if his senses tell him that the Earth is spinning or moving.
Oh, geez, repeat that.
From my experiences in everyday life, we don't experience the Earth moving
No, I
at all.
don't feel the Earth moving.
Okay.
Does the Earth move for
So-
you, Donkey?
Is it true that you own a solar power company?
Well, I don't feel it moving, but I do notice, you know, the skies rotate in such a way that either everything up there is rotating and we're rotating, and they're all in a relative position from us that stays relatively the same with little motion.
Yeah,
I'm not saying no motion
but you do
because
know we can do some measurements and stuff that'll actually show which is which.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, no, of course, I don't, standing on the ground, feel the Earth spinning below my feet because I'm spinning with it.
And the rotation, you'd feel acceleration, but you don't feel the motion.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me spin at that speed in my chair. I don't feel it.
Yeah, but you can
Ah,
feel
damn,
the acceleration.
I start
when
spinning too fast.
What we observe is the Earth is still and stationary, which is geocentric. The geocentric model has always been here since day creation, which is not millions of years ago.
Oh wow, one of them
the
is too, is
Big
he?
Bang evolution theory is a new theory. It
He's
hasn't
not
been
just a flat
around
earther, he's a bit all over the place.
no longer than 500 years.
Pause it real quick, Terry.
Yeah, I can pause it.
I just want to say the age, how old the theory is, doesn't make it more or less true. Just because something's newer or older doesn't affect how.
That's
like,
right.
Because there's some stuff that we figured out thousands of years ago that still holds true, and there's stuff that we just figured out, you know, in the last couple of years that is true. So, you know, just because something's super old or super new does not have any weight on its truth value, or whatever you want to call it.
At least it's been introduced over 1,000 years, but it hasn't been basically introduced to the system as a belief to the world until the 1500s. Ancient civilization is always known the shape of the Earth as being geocentric. It's been stationary. We know by observing the stars and the constellations that just like a planetarium. The ground is stationary and flat. You do have a walls to contain, and the skies, constellation stars start, and they begin every year in the same exact spot. By observing the stars alone tells me that if all the stars
Can we
are
pause again?
circling from east to west around a central
sorry. The mouse was
location.
in the wrong spot.
I was sorry. This argument comes up all the time. The stars go exactly back to the same spot every year. We have a procession of the constellations and everything, so obviously that's not true. I just wanted to throw that out there. That's very simple to go and look at star charts and see the change that happens year by year, decade by decade. It's not a lot, but there is. We do not return to the same spot in the exact same spot in the sky every year, or every day, or whatever. You can continue. That was it. Just
Yeah, I think this is just his introduction bit. So,
which the central location happens to be Polaris, which is a star that is called Polaris from being polarized. A system basically held together through electromagnetism. I know a lot of people on Facebook had other questions. I can jump around a little bit, but to stay on track, the heliocentric model is a new model. Freemason scientists came around, Newton, Galileo, Copernicus, Newton, Einstein, came around with these theories, men with theories that have nothing to back them up in real world reality. It's based off math, which anybody can make math fit their agenda. Can you show me a system, a heliocentric system, a model in every size and form? See, the two big excuses of why we can't feel anything, or why we're not able to see certain things. The Earth being too big and not able to see a certain distance is understanding perspective. And when we say that word, it seems like you guys are turned off because it doesn't work with your model, and it actually exposes it in every way, but on paper it looks good, you know. And how I like to explain it is, it's like building a team. You build a team, it looks good on paper, but does it apply in reality? As far as the heliocentric model, that's a sun worshiping model. That was
got 2 minutes left.
Yep, that was basically introduced by the first pope. The Roman Catholic Church introduced it as a way of bringing in Christians and paganism together, and the sun worshiping, the sun being the center and everything revolving around the sun, is come from paganism, and it's been adopted in the United States. And the reason why you guys stick up for this system, this heliocentric system, so much is because it's all you were given, one model, and born in a time of deception, which is the end times. You know, we're in the times of like it was in Noah. We're seeing exactly what's happening in this new belief system. Is all new. This hasn't been around for thousands of years. And also the heliocentric has never been proven. We experience the reality of a dome, the Earth being flat, there's being ice walls containing water, and a dome structure.
If this is his intro, he's been gone for a while.
With the stars surrounding, revolving around us.
All right,
and
Michael, and that's your time.
Yeah.
Is that his time up?
Right, thank you for that. Reds has attempted to
Yep.
join, but he had a bad connection.
Okay.
Reds, you there?
Right, okay.
No, he's not there yet. He will be here soon.
No
Howard,
worries.
that was interesting. I don't know if I'd use the word evidence, but it was certainly interesting. Robert, did you make notes, I guess?
Yeah, I took a few notes, so we'll address some of those later on. You know, one of the key things that Michael kept referring back to was, Scripture, the Bible. We've known about this for so let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, hoping it's not feeding back here. Okay, so this resort you happen to be seeing on the screen is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And I think, 2-3 years ago.
I'm getting a little flashing on the screen there.
Okay.
You're flickering.
It might be the upload speed not keeping up very well, but let's see what we can do here. So just give you a little context. Whenever we were on vacation, I had my trusty flat earther Nikon B900 with me, and I was hoping to kind of see a large ship sailing out in the distance, so I could go out there and capture it. And one of the last days we were there, I was at my room. Yeah, let's see here if I can move this another screen out of the way. I'm not sure you can see my cursor or not. I had a room basically right up. There we go. Okay, it's kind of bouncing around. Kind of up in these rooms up above, and I happened to see a ship out in the distance. So I grabbed the camera and I ran out there. So I took a view from kind of the corner where you see my cursor, right here, and then I walked all the way down to the beach. Took an observation of the ship from the beach. And then I walked up each flight of stairs, so about 10 feet at a time, so I can basically get an observation from different heights, and then compare what was going on with that ship. And the reason for doing that is I thought these are kind of rudimentary sketches, but I'm going to bring this over here. If we're looking at the globe model, I'll zoom this in a little bit to get it as big as I can. If I'm sitting over here at this lower altitude, I'm observing the ship, and it's hidden behind the curvature of the Earth, I can only see the top of the ship. If I raise my altitude, I can now see over the curvature of the Earth and see more of the ship. You always hear the flat earthers cry about, the law of perspective makes things smaller. Well, yeah, it does make things smaller from the top all the way to the bottom. It doesn't make things disappear from the bottom up. If we looked at that from the rudimentary picture of the flat Earth model, bring this over here. It doesn't matter what height I am. If I'm looking across a flat plane, I'm going to see that same ship. So that's kind of this rudimentary thing. So let's go look at this video, and hopefully it comes out okay. So let me know when you see the video screen. So I jumped ahead all the way to me standing on the beach. So now we're probably, the height of the camera is probably about 7 feet up. And I'm going to start playing the video, and I'm going to pause it once I get zoomed out on this ship. And this is a pretty big tanker. It took me a bit to find it, but I actually found a picture of the tanker.
That's some pretty
So you
good
can
footage.
see it. Yep. So you're only seeing the very, very top of that tanker. So I'm zoomed in. That's
We'll have to get hold of his name and channel and see if we can get this video.
So no, if I had the biggest
Did anyone
telescope
catch
in the
who
world
he
and
is?
zoomed in even further, I'm not going to see any more of that ship. So now I walk
Is it
back up
Prime
the beach,
Red?
and I'm not going to make
I know he said
kind of
red,
watch
but
that, so I'm just going to jump to a
there's a few
timestamp
people who
here.
have red in their name, so I'm
Unless
not
Michael
sure.
really
Yeah.
wants me to have people watch
It'd probably
me
be in
walk
his
up the stairs,
description
but
under
we shouldn't
his
have to do that. Okay, so now you
video.
can see
It
I'm
may be
about,
there who it
about
is.
20 feet above the sand. I went up one floor. I'm zooming in again.
Or maybe somebody who was at the actual stream.
And look at that.
Yes.
We're actually seeing quite a bit more of the ship. We're seeing that top of the scaffolding. That's you'll see once we get more view of the ship. So I don't know.
Well,
if
we'll
I had to
definitely have to
guess,
get hold
we're
of
maybe
that.
seeing about 20 feet more of
Because it's a bit
of the
hard to
ship,
see it there.
10 to 20 feet more. So let's climb another set
So
of
we
stairs.
know what we're going to expect if we see a video. Okay. We'll jump forward.
And zoom back in again.
I remember watching bits
So
and
now we're
pieces of this.
probably about 30 feet above the water. Now I'm
I think
starting
it's
to
back
see
here
the darker
somewhere
color.
where he comes into it again.
There
Do you know,
has to
do you know
be
what it is? Out of interest?
Yes, I am aware of it. I know we all are. At 50 miles,
God.
we should see an exclusive amount of curvature. If he's saying, so at 50 miles, right, the Earth is too big, we're told, we should see, what is it, 2,000 or 266 feet of drop, I believe.
And just to be clear, you're
Is that what it
referencing
is?
the 8 inches per square miles formula, right?
So based on that, at 44,000 feet,
I don't think he heard what Craig just said.
referencing to that. Also, what I'm saying is that 44,000 feet or
It
35,000
only works for
feet,
about a couple hundred miles, doesn't it? The 8 inches per
how much
mile thing.
curvature would you see if the
Yeah, I think
Earth's
a few
radius
hundred
was
miles. And it's a
3,958
good distance,
feet?
but not
At
quite long
44,000
enough.
feet, the horizon shouldn't even be close to your level of eye, and it would go downward. At no height
With your level
can
of
you
your
see
eye.
the Earth curve because there is no curvature.
That's a good one.
All right, so
The
let's
reason why there's no curvature, and we know
right.
All right,
from
Michael.
observation,
All right, Michael, let
there's no way
Robert
you
respond.
can duplicate this spinning ball heliocentric,
Okay, Michael.
water sticking
Michael,
from it,
Michael, hold
and
on.
create a habitat at any size or level.
Michael, I
In
don't
our
want to have to
model,
mute you.
we can create
So
our
Red's
model
rhetoric was there, but
Michael,
that didn't
any
sound like
size.
who was.
Michael, I
No,
don't want to
no,
have
that
to mute
wasn't
you.
Red's
Please
rhetoric.
let Robert respond.
That's a big
okay?
difference.
Yeah.
That's science.
Is he listening?
All
to
right.
you?
Not throwing the word science out there and using math and pictures is not enough for us.
Michael, can you hear us at all?
All right, let's beat him already because he refused to meme spam
Breaking
the
up,
voice.
yeah, I'll let Robert respond and mute it just in case.
Yeah, please
All right.
do give Robert a chance to respond instead of going off on multiple points, okay?
So Robert
All
somebody.
right. I don't really like using memes. One of the first things he said was obviously wrong, and the graphic I have up on the screen
So let's put
shows
the link in the chat.
here's that person standing up on top of the ball, and he's looking 360 degrees all the way around. And notice that distance to the horizon is the same, 360 degrees all the way around, because he's standing on a sphere.
Guys,
Okay, why do you keep interrupting when I'm trying to explain? I'm happy to let you respond.
Michael,
I do not
they're just breaking
believe.
up, that's all.
I do not believe that Michael has. I don't believe Michael is actually hearing us because there was a connection issue. I don't think it's his fault.
Okay, that could be the case.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I can't hear
Okay.
you, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Michael, just
Let's-
make sure you give Robert a chance to finish what he's saying before you interject, okay?
Thanks, sir.
All right, so let's look at another. God, I hate bringing up memes, but they work. This was an analysis, a computer model done of how much curvature you would see standing at the beach, saying at the top of the Statue of Liberty, on a commercial flight, MiG flight, kind of et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is that commercial flight. So basically 36,000 feet, about how much curvature you see. You really can't see that much. It is slight. And if there's any clouds in the sky, like even my own image looking over here, oops, let me get, sorry, give me 1 second to bring it back up again. My own image, there are a layer of haze, there's kind of some clouds. So the horizon, even though it looks a little bit curved there, I would say it's not definitive because there's clouds and other stuff in the sky, which is why I love this image from a pilot friend of mine, where he took this picture from the cockpit of his A320. He's an airline pilot in Asia. Through the cockpit front window, which by regulation has to be optically pure. There cannot be any imperfections in the front window because it would mess up the pilot's perspective when he's coming in to land, and that's a really bad thing to do when you got, 200-300 passengers behind you. You notice he took it right at sunrise, so the sun is highlighting the actual physical horizon. And if you compare that horizon to what was predicted in the computer model, it's pretty darn close. Maybe not exact, but so you can definitely see those two different curvatures matching up with each other, exactly as the globe model predicts. So it's not a fisheye camera. He was actually taken with his iPhone, which is not a fisheye lens, through the front windshield, which is optically pure. So they can't say it's fisheye. They can't say it's the window in the full side window in the airplane causing this. It's just a iPhone picture taken through the front window. I'll show one other, and then I'll let Michael respond. This one, he just backed up a little bit. It was actually on a different flight, but ow, come on now. Where did it go? Come back here. I lost it. Oh, it closed for some reason. That was weird. 1 second.
Technology, we all love it.
Yeah. So this one was he kind of backed up a little bit, so he caught the pillar of the window frame there, which is perfectly straight, and yet you still see that same curvature. So what do you think, Michael?
Michael?
Yes, I'm back. Yeah, I'm here. What do I think of that picture? I think that is no evidence that we live on a ball whatsoever. What it is it's trying to find any source of hope for any way to prove that you live on a ball. And what you're doing is you're trying to find the smallest thing
I
that
gather
you
you'd
can find
probably
to prove that we don't
pause.
live on a stationary
Yeah, I'm
geocentric
coming.
Earth.
There we go.
just, oh my God, like, really, that's grasping at straws. Because they've got so much that we show a curvature and that's grasping at straws. I don't know. Anybody else got? It hurts. I needed a moment. Okay. I guess if nobody else is gonna say anything, we can continue. God, the ponish of it. I don't know if he actually believes that or not, but God.
Yeah, same as what Fred's
Yeah,
saying.
as Fred says,
there's an outright denial of proof.
Yeah, exactly. Show me curve, not yeah. Well, you're grasping at straws. You've just got that picture. That's grasping at. Okay, and your black swan, blurry, everything's distorted picture is better. Sure, whatever. I
don't want to be premature in saying this, but if you'd have waited just a little bit long, I don't know when it was, but it hasn't happened yet, so it gets better. Because I remember watching this. I remember watching it. Yeah, it gets better. Worse, better. You know what I mean?
just want to quote Zim. You made the fires worse or better.
Which the words are all derived from geocentric.
Michael, to be fair, he asked specifically what you think about this image and what it represents.
And I am. I'm getting to it.
He did say that it matches the globe predictions. That is what we are supposed to see. So how do you respond to that?
Yeah, exactly my point. That's not what we're supposed to see.
And do you have any evidence to back that up?
Yes, there would be a tremendous amount of curvature at that height. If we live at what they say the distance of the Earth is at its radius,
I think he missed the point there. He showed the predicted curve, and that is what the predicted curve, according to the globe math, would show.
Wait a second. Predictive curve he said again, he showed a CGI meme, right? And just showing it, right?
Yeah,
using technology.
That meme
yes.
is mapped out to show what the globe Earth curve should be at certain heights. And it matches what he has in this picture.
Right. That meme explained it, right?
That's weird.
He brought a meme here, which that shows that picture that he's showing is not a flat horizon. At that height, what I'm saying is at that height, if we lived on a ball, there would be more curvature. That is not correct.
And do you have evidence to back up that assertion?
Yes, by the measurements of the Earth.
So,
have
you actually modeled that, or are you making an assumption without actually modeling it yourself?
No, not making an assumption at all. What I'm seeing is that picture, first of all, doesn't have any curve.
Actually, let's just do a poll in the audience of how many people see curvature in that.
Well, no, that's the first part of it. Is you got to be real with yourself. There's no curvature there. You want to see curvature.
Are you fucking with me?
Okay, what just happened?
Oh, hey, Alma.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, was I muted? I was
We're
muted,
watching.
I'm Burkett.
So my mic is definitely working. That's good.
Yeah, as long as mine's working, that's the main thing.
What was that?
Oh, jeez. Kick Steve, mute Steve.
No.
Huh? Sorry, is my mic working? Oh.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, that's the bit I was saying. Just totally ignorant or obtrusive to the image.
Well, I like that we're like, so this is what the model shows here. We're gonna show you, what the model shows. I mean, he's calling it a meme, but it's just a simple picture to show what the model shows, and he just goes straight up with no, that's wrong. The measurements would show something else.
Yeah, but he also said, "Oh, that's a meme." Like he did try to pull he did try to pull that one out to try to say, "Oh, it's a meme," not what it shows.
Yeah.
It's just a.
That's just a meme, and then he was going on to say that the measurements of the Earth would say that it would be more rounded, which is just not true. But I'm sure he's done the math, and he's going to be able to show us math that shows us that it's more rounded or something.
It's a shame that picture on the left doesn't show a curved horizon, isn't it?
I mean, except those sides do seem to be dipping a little.
Okay. Is you sure it's not me glasses or something? It might be...
maybe that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, I'm not wearing glasses. Maybe it's my monitor. Maybe my monitor's curved, and that's why I'm seeing.
Okay. Yes, exactly what they're right. They deny, and when you're done, nope, deny it again. Yep, wait a minute, we're going to deny that again.
What the predicted curve, according to the globe math, would show.
Wait a second. Predictive curve he said again, he showed a CGI meme, right? And just showing it, right?
Yeah,
using technology.
That meme
yes.
is mapped out to show what the globe Earth
right.
curve should
That's
be at certain heights. And it matches what he has in his picture.
Right. That meme explained it, right? He brought a meme here, which shows that picture that he's showing is not a flat horizon. At that height, what I'm saying is, at that height, if we lived on a ball, there would be more curvature. That is not correct.
And do you have evidence to back up that assertion?
Yes, by the measurements of the Earth.
So Michael, have you actually modeled that, or are you making an assumption without actually modeling it yourself?
No, not making an assumption at all. What I'm seeing is that picture, first of all, doesn't have any curve.
Actually, it does. Really? Let's just do a poll in the audience of how many people see curvature in that.
Well, no, that's the first part of it. Is you got to be real with yourself. There's no curvature there. You want to see curvature.
Are you fucking
light?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The audience see curvature.
If you look at the picture, you think that's where the land ends, where you see the darkness. Well, that light, right? That light, and I'm not fucking with you. I mean, you don't have to say that. What I'm saying is that light is obstructing your view of seeing further. That horizon isn't even the horizon that you view. It would be if you would pan a camera 360 around at that height, you would see it curve downward around you. It would not go completely flat.
It would curve downward around you.
Horizon means flat.
I just want to clarify exactly what you're saying here, just to make sure I've got this right. You're saying that in the picture that Robert is showing there isn't any curve.
I'm showing there is no curvature whatsoever.
And to confirm, you can see the picture on the left, taken from the plane, right? You can see that one.
Yes, and what I'm trying to say is,
and you are saying there's no curvature.
What you think is the
horizon
horizon is the dark part is the light is obstructing your view of seeing further. It's actually further, and if you take the math, right, of the
that's got nothing to do with being curved or not. That's got nothing to do with being curved or not, whether or not you can see further or not.
Yeah, wait, did he just say the light is obscuring your
Yeah.
ability to see further?
Further, yeah.
Not the the curve,
No.
things being beyond the curve, but the light is
It's like as
obstructing
if I
your
shine a torch in your face and you say, "No, I can't see. I can't see." I go, "Well, there you go."
No, it's like if you shone a torch, perpendicular to where I'm looking, and I go, well, I can't see through the light because light's opaque, apparently.
Or try to read somebody's number plates with the headlights.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what's my number plate?
Oh, God.
I can't see it that far because of whatever the light's in my eye. Yeah, I thought you said like that
Just gonna
bit.
take a drink and
The measurement.
Yeah, you
What
need
is
one for
it?
that bit. And
It's
now I'm a bit obscure with the
3,958
rest of the
miles,
show
right?
because it's
So if that's
been
the
going
radius
for a
of the
while.
Earth, which is given to us, at how many feet should we see curvature? At 100 miles, how much curvature should we see?
Well, it
If
shows
it-
you
the
there
Earth
on
is-
that graphic what you should see at 100 kilometers.
I'm getting a bit of a feeling that when he says curvature at so many feet at the distance, that's forward. That's on that axis, like looking, but not not orthographic view, whatever on the side. You don't see.
yeah.
You can't see the side view of when you're looking forward to if there's going to be curving away from you.
So,
That's the
when
bit where
you're
it's
down
confusing.
close, you can't see what we'd call the x-axis of curvature.
Yeah.
But as you get higher up, which is what this graph on the side is showing, is you start to see, you can see that x-axis of curvature. Now you can't directly see forward curvature, or I'll call it y-axis curvature.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's curving away from you, so how would you see that?
See
but
that,
you can
yeah.
see the effects of it by things disappearing behind it, which we see with boats on the water and a ton of other things. And yeah, he's definitely like mixing the two here or something. I have
Yeah, he seems to
no
be mixing it. He seems to have got it mixed a bit. There's a mix somewhere.
I'm saying, so if you were raising up 35,000 feet in the air, you would see a tremendous amount of curve. If that's the shape, if that's the true measurements of the Earth.
What's obvious, Greg, is that Michael's never actually modeled it. He's just making an incorrect assumption because he doesn't want to actually look it up.
No, I actually looked it up. I just told you. The
No, you
radius of
haven't
the
looked it
Earth, going with the radius of the Earth, I did. Trust me, way before 2017.
Yeah.
Before, what I'm trying to explain to you is this.
So
The Earth,
could you
given a
reference
distance,
us any
a measurement.
modeling like software, anything that you use to determine this?
So I'm not allowed to use memes, right?
No, I'm not asking for memes. You said
You can use it.
Now I got to use software and all that.
You can
I
use it as
thought
long as
you
you
could-
explain it.
Okay, what it is you guys can't prove your model in any way whatsoever. You can't make a replicate that model, the spinning heliocentric model, at a small or big scale. It does.
So,
there's no way, and there's no scientific way.
So
And that's where.
to be
And there's
clear,
no
are you
Here's a change in topic.
to be
There's
clear,
no
Michael,
picture.
are you saying that in science you have to replicate something smaller to prove that it's true? Is that what you're saying?
Not smaller. No, I didn't say that. And
No,
you're
you
putting
just
words
did.
in my mouth. I
He
said-
Can you
He
pause
did
it
say
for a
it.
second?
He did.
Yeah.
He definitely said that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is earlier they asked, he was saying like, oh, I'm not just asserting this. I've looked into the numbers or whatever. And then they start asking from the numbers, and he's like, well, you guys can't prove any. Like,
Yeah.
so you are just asserting things without actually having done any work to figure out the answer. Like, you have no source for where you're getting your numbers and how much it should curve. You didn't do it yourself, and I'm not saying that you have to do it yourself, but at least provide the source of where you're getting those numbers if you're not going to do it yourself, so that can be validated. It's the same old dribble.
And the same old dribble about asserting and opinionising for what he wants to say without actually presenting anything as a proof of concept of what he's trying to say.
Yeah, and it's they want to make claims, but then you call them on their claims, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not making claims. You're making claims, but you made a positive
but you
claim.
just made the claim, yeah."
It's like,
At any size. Not just
okay, so
small.
all right.
So
Okay, to
science
clarify,
is-
in science, you're saying that
Yeah.
we have to replicate something on a different scale to prove that it's true. Is that right?
No, you have to replicate it over and over again with an experiment, right? And get the same results over and over and over again. That's what science is. You have to be able to do an experiment.
And the experiment
and
has
get the
to be
same
what?
result.
Replicating
There's
the
no
exact
globe.
thing.
No,
I'm
you're
just
not. You're
confused as to
showing
what
me
you're
how you
saying.
go higher. You're just showing us listing basics of perspective. As you rise higher, you can see more. We understand that. Well, how come I can't see furthermore from the ground when I zoom in? Because the reason why is you don't understand how perspective works. The points are conversion to the point in the middle of the water, not to the boat. The camera's not able to conversion to water because it's being just.
I'd like to know who was the original drongo that brought up perspective to do with flat Earth. That was something that I wished was hit it on the head back in the day, because perspective is an artistic terminology, not. It's more in artistic. It's more leaning towards artistic perspective.
So the way that they use art perspective is, but there is a scientific term of perspective that is defined by angular size and some different stuff, and there's mathematical formulas and stuff to figure out the perspective that one will see, given different things or whatever. So there is perspective in science, but no, you're right. They use the more of the artistic kind of idea of it, which is similar but not the exact same. And then the way that they get to perspective doesn't agree with either. So I don't I'm not a big art student. That's not my field, but I took elementary art school classes, so I know what perspective is.
Yeah.
And God, I think that's a Dubé argument, or because I think that's one of the old ones that's been around forever.
Yeah. Is that before the P900 zooming in the whole ship's stuff, or do you think that was around the same time?
I don't know, because I wasn't following that closely back then.
Yeah. No.
So
distorted by what's in front of it. And there's a lot of things. That's one.
I've got so much that I want to say, but Robert.
I know you're dying inside, Craig. He's absolutely hilarious. But so let's flip it a little bit, because Michael hasn't had a chance to.
I guess science is hilarious. It's an experiment you do over and over again and get the same results. But you can't show me the spinning globe model at any, even big, small. You have to replicate it.
I want to put it back in your court for a minute, because I've been presenting evidence. I want you to see one, Michael. Be quiet for a second. I want you to present one piece of evidence that we can look up that would prove the Earth is flat.
I already gave you plenty.
I want you to pick one of those. Just one.
I have hundreds in the
I want you to
just pick one.
I already did. It was in my intro while I was trying to explain why you believe in what you believe.
They could never just pick
one.
one.
Okay, right, Michael.
The constellation.
Michael, hold on. Right, let me moderate for a second. Can you present some empirical evidence to support your claim?
Yes.
Yeah, present.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Emphasis on present.
Evidence, just using your own senses.
That's not what empirical evidence is.
And that's not presenting either.
Okay, empirical evidence. The constellations again, just using that one.
No, that's not presenting.
You know they change,
constellations.
Right? That's just an opinion.
No, they start exactly the same.
I mean,
they go exactly
sailors would
every
disagree.
year
Wait, hold on. I'm not going
It's just going to spout opinions and whatever. He's only, trying to interpret something that's not right. We'll have to skip a bit on this. I don't know what else he gets into later on. We'll do a big jump.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, well, he's going into MEMS accelerometer. Well, we know how they work.
I'll be right back too. I have to get something to drink.
Yeah, okay. Wow. He's all over the place. Yeah, I've shown that picture a few times with the train, with the coin and the phone.
You don't move it, you put it on the ground, and it measures a 15 degree per hour drift.
Yes, we explained that. It's the movement of the atoms and particles in the air through electromagnetism rotating around the center.
Again, this is a
start
self-contained
creating inertia.
No, this
That's
is
how that works.
No,
they projected
again, stop.
math, right?
This
and
is
how
a stop.
and
Michael,
they
stop.
made it
Michael,
like there's
shut
a
up.
magnetic
Michael,
field around a ball.
Michael, shut.
There's no magnetic
Michael,
field around
cool
a
your.
ball.
I'm gonna have to mute you if you don't stop. Right?
Okay.
You are wrong. Ring laser gyroscopes.
Yes, I'm wrong because you said so.
No, because of how ring laser gyroscopes work. They use the
I
Sagnac
explained
effect.
you're not wrong. You're picking up not the ground's movement.
No, it can't
there's
detect
no
any.
experiment you
It
do.
can't detect anything else other than
He's
the
another
movement of what it is
bugger.
physically attached to. It cannot detect movements of particles around it. There is no way that can happen. It is a self-contained, vacuum-sealed laser bouncing around.
It's vacuum sealed.
Bouncing around a
Vacuum sealed in our
predetermined.
air. Okay.
Bouncing around a predetermined path, and when you
Vacuum
measure
sealed,
the
man.
divergence, you can measure a rotation. It cannot be affected by anything apart from the movement of what it is physically attached to.
The laser gyroscope is not picking up 15 degrees movement of the Earth.
Thanks,
it
Bob.
can't pick up anything else. Though. It can't pick up anything else.
Whatsoever.
Though. It can't pick up anything else.
We have to thank Bob for that
There's
one.
no experiment you can do.
The
we
ring
know
laser
this,
gyroscope is a
that
pretty good
just
experiment.
detects the Earth's movement.
Yes,
let
you
alone
can.
you guys.
I can show you one right now.
A working
I can show you
model,
one right now.
not
Don't
model,
lie to me. I can show you right now.
of a spinning ball Earth with a habitat on it.
Yeah, that's not how
With
science
water
works. No one needs to
sticking-
do that.
With water sticking to it.
No one needs
from
to
every
do that.
direction.
Oh,
You're
geez,
a
throw
liar.
it all. It's like as if
Well,
he's
why would
got
nobody
the
need to do
word
that? 'Cause
salad
you would
all
have to
Because that's
ready
not
to
science.
throw in the
Science.
bowl at
No,
the
that's
same
not
time.
science.
But that's reality. What we
No,
observe,
that's not how science works.
When you
Don't-
contain
don't-
water,
when you
water
say
needs to be
science, you
contained.
don't know what you mean. That's
Water
not
needs
how
to
science
be
works.
contained.
Gravity
That's
is
science.
gravity is a container. Right.
No, gravity is not a container.
Yes,
gravity is a
gravity is a
made-up
container.
force.
No, gravity's a
First of all,
container.
first of
Stop
all-
lying. Stop lying. Stop lying.
Well,
Right.
you want me to explain something to you real
No,
quick? I'll explain it.
you asked me for an experiment that measures the Earth's rotation. Well, here is one.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You literally
I said
just
there
fucking
is
did.
none.
Well, I'm proving you wrong right now. This guy is called the gentleman physicist, and he did an experiment to measure the Earth's rotation.
I know
If-
many physicists that say
Eh,
there's no experiments of the Earth.
No,
we know.
there's none that say that. If
Find
the-
me one.
if
Find
the-
me one that is willing to verify their credentials, and I
There you
will
go.
pay you $1,000.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
if the Earth is
Find
rotating,
one.
there will be effects. One of these effects will be the Coriolis effect, which will make a deflection.
That's debunked. You can't. There's no Coriolis
Don't
effect.
interrupt. Don't interrupt. One of these effects will be the Coriolis effect, which will cause a deflection of a moving object. Okay.
There's such
Now,
thing as Coriolis effect.
this guy used a pendulum to measure that effect.
This bloke's
If
either
the Earth is
totally
rotating
ignorant or whatever.
at his latitude
There's
on
another
Earth,
word for
that
it too. I
pendulum
can't
should
think
drift
of
a
it off the top of
certain
my head.
amount over a certain amount of time. He made a prediction, made a pendulum which isn't made of metal
Hey,
and
mate,
affected by
sounds
magnetism,
just as
etc.
stupid.
And the pendulum
yeah, right.
confirmed by this measurement, by the fact that it
Is obtrusive the word, or am I thinking of a different word? Where every time you say something, it doesn't matter what it is, he'll just ignore it or disagree with it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, he's obtrusive might be because he's speaking over him. I would go with obtuse.
Obtuse, yes, obtuse, yeah.
Yeah, that might also be a good one.
Yeah.
it drifted this much, that he was on the location that he actually is on Earth. So all
Like as soon as he said the word vacuum sealed, he was vacuum. Yeah, he wasn't even listening. He was just listening to the words, not what's the point he's making.
they did was they measured the angle that it came up with.
I know
right?
what they did. I know.
They measured the
You're
angle.
telling me
then
everything
they
we
did a
already
simple
know.
bit of
I know
maths.
all this. This is why I don't believe in. I live on a spinning
You don't
ball.
know what you
know
don't.
that, right?
Okay, tell me how they did the maths then.
Well, first of all, they've
How
had
did they
to
do
set
the
it in
maths?
motion.
No, they
Can I
didn't.
explain it to you? Relax. I
No,
already
you-
been where you've been.
No.
I've been there. I thought I lived on a spinning ball too.
It doesn't
What I'm
matter.
trying to explain
Of
is
course,
this.
you have to
No.
set it in motion because
It had to be set in motion.
Yes, of course
right?
it does, because a moving object is what the Coriolis force is applied to. So of course
There
it
is
has
no
to
such
be
thing
in
as
motion.
personal. There's no such thing as Coriolis, right?
There absolutely
And
is.
we
This
can prove
demonstrated
that.
it right now.
And we can prove that with many things.
No, you're
we
wrong.
can prove it
No, you're wrong.
with how.
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Hey, you just say you're wrong all the time.
Yeah,
And
because
and
I'm
and the problem
demonstrating
is
to you that you're wrong right now. I'm literally demonstrating that you're wrong right now.
First of all, no, we're gonna keep explaining how. Right now, you keep
A pendulum
saying
has
I'm
to be
wrong.
set in motion. That is the point of a pendulum.
it has
That
to
is
be
not
set
a
in motion.
that is not a debunk of how a pendulum works.
Wait a second. No, it has to debunk that the Earth's not moving. Is
No.
what it has to do. It has nothing to do with how a pendulum works.
A pendulum shouldn't
We know
start
how
swinging on
pendulums
its own.
work, but
Yeah.
it was set in motion.
Yeah, of course,
right?
because that's how pendulums
So let me
work.
explain. Can you relax? I know you're
I'm not
excited.
going to let you lie.
Relax. This is new stuff for you.
No,
I
it's
know.
not.
I've been where
I've
you've
heard
been.
the argument every
So,
single
for
time.
instance,
Right, I want you to
I'm
debunk the
explaining
maths.
I'm explaining
I want you to
to
debunk the maths.
No wonder people
Debunk
don't
the
waste their
maths or
time
shut
with
up.
guys.
Debunk the math or shut up.
I'm debunking you right now.
No,
Everything you
debunk
say
the
is
maths.
debunked.
You said you know how to do it, so first
I
of
just
all,
said I just
Right,
told you.
no,
You
no.
don't want to show math. This is your problem, right?
right? No, wait, stop. You said you know how to do this experiment, so explain the math behind it. Or
said
you're a
there's no-
liar.
Listen to this guy, math behind it. I love it. No, what I'm explaining to you.
So
is
you're a
the
liar.
reason
Cool,
why
no
it
worries.
works.
Big
No,
liar. Thank you.
The experiment doesn't show the Earth's movement because
It's
you have
exactly
to
what
set
it
in
shows.
motion. It doesn't go in motion by itself.
It's not
That-
supposed to
that
go.
shows
There's
that
nothing
it's
about
wrong.
the Earth rotating that says a pendulum should go in motion on its own. That is
It's
incorrect
wild.
physics.
It's wild how I can prove and have a working system model.
You can't have a
with
working-
reliable-
Okay. Let me jump back in again real fast.
Yeah.
'cause
Sorry,
it's been a
Robert. Go
while.
on.
So, Michael, what's been clear throughout this whole thing
agent.
is, Michael, my turn.
Yep,
It's
I
been
know.
clear throughout this
Thank you.
whole thing that all you've had this entire
All I
debate
have.
is words. Not a
Words.
single time have you
Yep.
presented an
That's what I'm
experiment
saying
you've
to you.
done, an observation you've done.
I'm showing you.
Absolutely
What do you
nothing.
mean
He's
I'm
not
showing you
going
right
to doesn't
now?
let anyone speak, does he?
Michael, quiet.
Okay.
We showed you
Robert,
actual experiments, actual observations, things that you can go out and do yourself. You've not shown us a single thing that you've got out and validate besides watching YouTube videos.
Well, I'd have you
YouTube,
muted the whole time while I spoke.
Robert, your whole reality is coming to a crash.
So you
soon.
didn't even
No,
let
my
him finish
reality
You can
actually
speaking.
see it.
matches reality,
I know
which
where
is
you're
different from where
standing.
you're at.
I've been where you were. I get it. I was like that too, and I still couldn't find it. I'm trying to find it to this day.
So tell us, Michael, what drugs
I
did you
just
start
showed
taking
you.
that kind
I just
of
showed you
brought
how
you out of your shell?
there's no experiment that makes you move. No, because
There's
I
some
have
obvious
awareness. I have
things
a
going
high
on in the
awareness.
chemical imbalance of your brain
Yeah,
that obviously corrupted you.
making
to
names,
make
calling names.
More reality.
I mean, knowing math that you're not. We just showed you how I just showed you basics. Right?
You showed us
Basics.
nothing.
No,
This is about the worst.
I showed you
I mean, I
nothing.
don't expect anything from you because we've seen what you presented inside of Facebook. But I was hoping you would actually come with some
I have so much
observation,
more.
some actual
I have so
measurement you
much more.
did.
No, I have
But
so
you
much
got
more. It's
nothing.
not even funny. I have so
Nothing.
much more. Yeah, nothing. You just said science. I have to bring math to show how this pendulum moves when it
Michael.
has to be set in motion. Okay, gravity, right? You know why you don't need a force going downward? Right?
Why?
Because the Earth isn't moving. And now guess what? The reason why you say that it needs a force to come down,
This is going to hurt my
right?
brain, isn't it?
The reason why you say that you need gravity needs a force to push something down, well, first of all, it needs to be put in place in the air for it to come down. So
Michael, do you
the
believe
reason
that
why it doesn't
a force is required
No.
for anything to move?
I love this. This is the same
Do you?
age
No, answer
response.
the
You
question,
didn't hear
Michael.
anything I just told you. Did you just
If I
hear anything I
have
just said? You already
You
were
started to
take
talk
a
about.
force to move that rock.
Yeah.
You're already asking me a question. You're already asking me a question when I was
You're showing your
explaining something
ignorance
to you.
of anything physics right now, Michael.
I just told you for something to fall in the sky has to be put in place. What just magically appears in the sky besides
Comets?
clouds?
Meteorites?
Oh,
Name something. Meteorites are no such thing
God.
as meteorites, first of all.
I've seen one personally.
Oh, so your geysers that you find the holes in the ground? There's no
No,
meteorites.
I've literally seen meteorites coming from the sky.
I have a video of one.
Meteorites. You see
Want me to
lights in
show
the
it to
sky.
you?
You see lights in the sky.
Meteorites
right?
aren't real.
Shooting stars.
Fuck
they're
Yeah, that are
meteorites.
burning and tumbling and falling apart at the meteorite.
I think we have a lot more worried about if there's asteroids and meteorites going to hit us in astral fields and all this.
No, this is why we have an atmosphere.
We're worried about
lovely,
stuff in
isn't it?
Earth.
Yeah,
It's
there's
lovely
a couple of
atmosphere.
things you want to thank for that. You want to thank the atmosphere, and you want to thank Jupiter for sucking
I
up all
think
the
it's
shit
just
in the
getting
solar
a bit of a
system. so it
shit
doesn't
show
hit
from
us.
here, about here.
Really is.
Yeah.
I know Craig will get into his last bit eventually. Oh, I see.
You can make a drinking game out of it. Each time he's no, you'll lose because each time he say something silly, you won't make
Yeah,
it.
but I'd have to go down the bottle and buy
I was gonna
another
say you can't make a drinking game out of it. You'll die.
I'd have to go down the bottle. I'd have to go down the bottle and buy another couple of cartons of beer first.
I just got a drink and I'm
All
right. Yeah.
I was thinking whiskey game, but anyway.
Maybe if we get some like light beer.
Oh no, I can't drink that shit.
Oh, I'm
That's
not saying
blasphemy.
I'd want to. I'm just saying like that'd probably be the only thing you could drink enough of to make it through.
Can you just imagine
You
blue
could,
after all that?
Can I what? Okay.
But what?
Sorry, Blue,
You don't
just
know how
playing
solar
around.
panels work.
What's that?
It's amazing.
UV infrared light. What were we talking about? The wavelengths from the light travels electromagnetism to the panels and absorbs the
Oh
light.
my god.
This is hilarious.
He's totally pulling us now.
Yeah.
Did they tell like 5 minutes ago?
Right,
Yeah.
Michael, I'm going to give you a multiple choice question here. Are photovoltaic cells made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
Oh, I'll be right back. Yep. 1 second. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
we hear you.
Michael, are photovoltaic cells made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
Can't hear anything you're saying, guys. Can you
I'm
hear
sure
me?
you can't. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Michael? Hello, can you hear me, Michael?
No, he's playing the old I can't hear you.
Yeah, he's about to fake a
He's
dropout.
totally bailing.
You wanna know how I can tell? I can hear my own echo in
Yeah.
this motherfucking microphone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear
Right,
me?
yes, we can hear you. Right, Michael. So, in a photovoltaic cell, is it made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
None.
Wrong. They're made up of slices of silicon.
Okay.
Wow.
So you don't know.
Why didn't you know this, Michael? This is your job. Your
Silicon cells,
expertise.
you're talking about atoms. That's all. What does that have to do with the sun absorbing, the panels absorbing the UV lights?
And
from the
how
sun?
does it absorb the light? What's the process?
Absorption
Absorption.
from the equipment.
Yeah, I have to pay that one.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You're just gonna say atoms and silicones are gonna force a crystal, and then
No one's going to
the
say
light
that.
conversion
No,
is gonna
not
turn
gonna say that one.
electricity.
Nope,
It'd be
no
more
one's going to say
efficient.
that.
And that
we
proves
would
love.
actually say how they work. So
Oh.
when the photons, which are what the light is called, when the photons reach the solar panel.
Yeah, we know that. So.
It's just
Wow,
what it
that's
is they expanded your imaginations, made you believe in asteroids and meteorites that don't exist. And where does a creator stuff? Where does a creator come from in this? Like for instance, you guys
He's
believe in the ball, right?
He's going to bring that
The
into
ball-
it too, is he?
No, for instance, that's what I'm saying. So in the ball Earth theory, you guys don't have a
Religion's
creator, right?
relevant. We don't need
So,
a
so
creator.
you're having to fall back to the Bible now on
Yeah.
the creator, huh?
No, nothing to do with the Bible. It just has to do with, okay, for instance, like a book,
Look,
right?
you believe in a magic sky daddy, we get it. That's
The
cool and everything.
No, I'm not-
heliocentric
I'm not
model
trying to-
does not state there needs to be or can't be a creator. So you can perfectly add any religion, for the most part, to the heliocentric model with no problems because they're separate from each other and have nothing to do with each other.
Yep. Can anyone still hear me? Oh, good.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I might have to talk to Lemon about that one.
Well, Lemon also
Have
believes
fun,
that
Scott.
Godzilla
Have
is
fun,
is
Scott.
a Hebrew god of the sea. So I mean,
I'm not trying to say that. No, I'm saying like a book. Like a book
Why are
has
you
an
bringing up
author.
a creator then? Is the creator not powerful enough to create something as complicated as a globe?
No, because it's not complicated. It's not about being.
It's actually much more complicated in the flat Earth model.
No, it's actually not. When you really,
it's very
God
complicated.
really did create this world. He made a lot of fucking mistakes. Just telling you that right now.
I mean, have you seen Red's? No, you haven't seen Red's face.
I
But
can
trust
tell
me,
by
that's a
your
mistake.
response how I can tell where you're at. I've been there.
Can you
I
pause
know,
it just
trust
for
me.
1 second?
I mean, it seems like they have such a.
All right, enough.
More than 1 second.
More than one. Just say the heliocentric model is less complicated than the flat Earth model because things work together. Where in the flat Earth model, nothing works together, so you have to come up with very complex and all these sorts of special cases and extra rules and stuff like that. Where gravity, we have one rule for gravity. It works the same everywhere.
Yeah, but I have to pick on you for a sec. You said flat Earth model. Now, they have a concept, but they can't model that concept, so they don't have a model.
That's fair. Yeah. The flat Earth
concept.
The flat Earth
concept.
Idea, belief.
Yeah.
Concept might even be going a little bit farther.
Okay. I was being generous.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna poke on me, we might as well go all the way and see.
I could say something about that poke and putt, but I might just leave it alone.
All right. That's
yeah, no poking allowed here. Sorry.
It's not that sort of show.
Streaming to the wrong website.
What, is there a right website, is there? Okay. Just don't post any links for anyone.
So a low opinion of their creator that he couldn't have created a globe Earth and a galaxy and millions of other planets and stars, but he was only powerful enough just to create one little flat plane with a couple million humans on it, or a couple billion humans on it, because he wasn't powerful enough to create what we know is reality using our own observations. Man,
but But you just said you observate a spinning ball Earth. There's you brought nothing that showed. I explained what you brought.
No, we brought you lots of stuff and you ignored it all.
You raised up. No, I didn't. I went over everything. You said you raised higher and you showed me the horizon.
This is why I say you're Poe, because you just ignored everything and you answered every single question we gave you with a question.
No, definitely didn't.
I mean, and Michael, I purposely didn't even go into anything dealing with space and satellites, and because I knew that right away you would just claim it's fake.
Never said any of that. Never even brought it up. Didn't even bring up the fake. I didn't even bring
it up because I know you'd say it's fake.
Why would I bring it up? I know you guys know it's fake. I don't need to bring that up.
We know
if you don't know as a man, if you're a man,
wait, one second, Michael, one second. Michael, 1 second. Reds, do you happen to know anyone that's personally proven that space is real?
Hi, you're talking to him.
Oh, that's right. It was you in Astronomy Live, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hi, how's it going?
No wonder you're offended.
He literally proved that space is real, dude. Like,
now I know why he's offended. I mean, you guys. What the problem is you dedicate a lot to this, and what it is it was a lie. It was sold to all of us, and the reason why you guys can't duplicate your model. The reason why you can't duplicate and make a model. And we're not even getting into pictures because we already know there's not one.
Part of I confirmed
if it was real, if this was real, you'd be able to find a picture that you knew was real.
What part of I confirmed it myself did you not understand?
Yeah.
All of it.
So you didn't understand all of it. I'm more than happy.
No, I understand it. The problem is you're not showing any evidence of curvature or nothing. You didn't show nothing.
We showed you literal curvature.
You showed me a picture on the plane and you said that's curvature at 35,000 feet. That's not curvature. I told you at the distance.
Moron.
Okay, now you're calling names. Okay, the space, right? All right, listen. I'm taking it easy on you guys. Listen, the space, right, There's a whole imaginary space.
You're not doing anything besides being a Poe. I'm going to pretend that you're being legit for like the next 5 minutes just so I can explain a very basic concept to you.
Oh my God.
Can planes travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second?
Child.
Can a plane travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second without burning the fuck up? Yes or no?
This kid, man. He just rambles
Answer,
on
Michael.
question after question. You haven't answered one of my questions.
It's a basic question, Michael.
And you guys keep just trying to find more, and this is the problem with
Did you refuse to answer any questions, Michael?
You're spinning ball. You're trying to find. Oh, you haven't found a map. Oh,
You haven't done anything, Michael. You've done nothing.
You guys,
Michael,
are the ones
I'll make you a deal. Let's go tit for tat. You answer my question and I'll answer yours. So here's my very first one.
No, this is
the first question is: can a plane or any aircraft for that matter travel?
I want you to bring evidence. I want you to show me I want to give me instead of asking me tons of questions like I'm your father and you're just asking all these questions because I know you have a lot. But the top three, that's all I asked you guys you're supposed to bring, is what proof do you have, the top 3 proofs, scientifically, right? Because you guys throw that word science out there pretty vague. What proofs do you have of this spinning ball? And if you could show me a working model, not a map.
Smart enough to understand
I don't want to
that
see. I
you
don't care about
cannot
maps.
travel within the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second.
You can't even drive a plane.
So,
First of all,
with that agreement,
drive a plane going east to west. The Earth was spinning. Yeah, if the Earth was, that's what I'm saying. If the Earth was spinning east to west, like it was.
If you can't travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second, why did I measure a craft going?
That's why people don't waste their time with little kids. Let them believe what they want.
So are you admitting defeat then, Michael?
No, I know how the tactics are. What it is.
Yeah, we ask you questions you can't answer and then laugh at how stupid you are. That's our tactics, you're right.
No. It's flooding with you have a group of agents, right? And you guys are attacking.
We have a group of agents, did you say?
But you haven't answered one a month. Not one.
Yes, we have.
I keep telling you that.
Hey, Reg,
I just said
that in front of you right now. Could you? What is that? It begins with
curvature.
Curvature. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at all that.
No. It'll have to finish off eventually, won't it?
But I mean, we kind of expect that to be the case, right? I'm not a moderator. I'm an angry person that shouts at flat earthers. But you did an amazing job. I want to thank you for the evidence that you presented. And again, I want to say thank you for following my channel and being so entertaining on Facebook, combating the flirts. You're really, really good at it.
That was fun. I mean, we knew coming in that he was going to be a Poe because we've watched him for a week or two of.
Yeah.
Is he still dragging people from Facebook over by the sound of it?
Probably. I mean, like, nobody wants to do the debates anymore because they know that they can't do it, except the worst of the lot, and especially on a channel like Craig's, where, I mean, honestly, that was a calm one as far as I've seen from Craig. So, so it's not surprising that you're gonna get just the lower end of the bucket.
Oh, speaking of low end of the bucket, we found a low end of the bucket streamer. It's got 167 subs, and Flat Earth and Ball Earth debunked. I don't know, he's got Flat Earth and Ball Earth debunked. That's his first video.
Ozzie.
I've got no idea if it's had a couple of hundred views. His name's DeRealm M Inverse Earth Apple. This came out in November 14th, 2020.
Sounds
like see Game of Realms Part 1 for the best version of this. So, I don't know what he's going on about. Well, this is his first video anyway, so So it'll either get better or worse, one of the two. But we'll start off with his very first video to see where he's at. He's got that. I'll give the peanuts that. Oh shit, I hate when people put music on. It sounds like Creative Commons music, doesn't it?
It does, but you don't know, and so it's not worth risking it. Because apparently a bunch of them are starting to add in the music just so that people can't do debunk videos or use do fair use stuff with it.
Who said his name 3 times?
No, who did? Who did that? Is he cutting and pasting?
Declination is man-made. Excuse me.
Are we getting to read that, or is it going too fast?
I wasn't even wasting my time with it. Sorry.
Oh, somebody was.
I was.
Somebody without an avatar was.
I was.
Is that the person without the avatar? Sorry,
Yes,
sorry, Donkey. That was the person without the avatar that was saying it.
I think that's me.
That's ML.
I'm trying to emphasize on the no avatar, Donkey.
I know Dark Steve lacks an avatar too, so.
Yeah,
but
Steve's
he's not
in here
here
without
at the
an
moment.
avatar.
He's not. He's got an avatar.
Yeah,
No,
my kangaroo.
he's
Oh, now he does. Never mind.
Well, that's what I'm
Doesn't in the
saying.
name.
He has now, so it's too late. Your argument is invalid. Love how Australia. What? Love how Australia. I have to read that again. Sorry.
Wait, can you pause that video?
Yes, shut up. Nag. Love how Australia looks long and it's much further from Senegal. Yeah, that's how we always complain how these planets. That's because it's the one the UN uses, which is not a true representation.
Well, that's not even the one that the UN uses.
Isn't it? I thought the UN used one that was like that one.
It's similar, yeah, but everything is way more distorted than in the normal AE map.
Oh, Africa should be around a bit further, shouldn't it? Oh, not Africa, South America, and yeah, that one doesn't look right.
Europe is like scrunched. And,
yeah, that one's not quite
I don't know what's going on, and and Gary, we don't do mathematical gymnastics. I don't know what math you've been doing, but we don't do it. We don't have to convince ourselves that the Earth is spinning because we can show evidence that it is. It's all quite easy. So
what a stupid bloody question. Should I use butane or helium? Butane is actually a liquid in its natural, what do you call it, compressed state.
Right.
Helium's a gas. Yeah, okay.
So anyways,
it's not any of that. Blue's already explained to great detail why he used butane instead of helium. So, sorry, his ears is painted on. He didn't hear it.
Yeah, don't bother responding to him.
Yeah.
He's just being the typical asshole self that he is.
In that last picture, was Australia the boy and America the girl?
Where?
Possibly.
Where?
The last picture. Just go back 10 seconds.
That one?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What did you say? The boy, the girl thing?
Because is pink and Australia is blue. Well, you do know that originally pink was a male color and blue was a feminine color. So
Yes.
Really?
yes, in the 18th century, I think it switched sometime in the 19th century. It's actually
Interesting.
That's why if you look at old photographs of like young or paintings of young males and females, the colors on them will be swapped.
Okay, what did Gary say to get timed out again? Did he swear, or was he abusing somebody, or?
No, I think he copy pasted.
Yeah, it looks just like his normal copy paste junk.
Oh, so whereas there is only one true perspective copy paste sentence, is that the one you're talking about?
That's the one that it looks like that they timed him out on.
Okay. Gary, you got to behave yourself. Is there any sound? No, it's all music. Oh shit. We'll just have to look at the images and the text of whatever's written up. Try to figure out what's going on
Probably
here.
go off for now. I'll be back later if I can get in.
I won't be on
later,
for much. I won't be on for much later. It's getting on to streaming for 2.5 hours at the moment. So.
Okay.
Later, ML.
Yeah.
God.
Do we have to read stuff again? What's his aspect ratio is not right here for some reason. It's just like 3:4 or something.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's old school.
Oh. Okay, I'll be covering Magellan's fake journey, Cook, Lisa, Antarctica, showing Sun and Myth past doubts as well. What did he actually show in that with the video that?
Well, he was showing that the shapes from that one projection or whatever, which we all said everything looked wonky on, that the actual shape and size of the U.S. and Australia are different from what they show, and that they're about the same size. So I mean, like, that disproves like the flat Earth stuff, but I don't know if he's trying to say that the globe model says the same thing, because it doesn't. Like, I don't know where the ball Earth debunk comes from.
And then he said I'll be showing that. Showing Sun, Myth, part doubts as well as ancient equators, geodesic geography navigation. Grammar good he does.
Wouldn't expect better.
Ah.
Okay. So this has all been done before. So I don't even know why it's an argument. As if... Ah! Shit. So by coning the flat Earth, you mean cloning or coning? Coning? Using a proper non-Mercator projection, which should be destroyed and not exactly how Mercator originally drew it as the modern map was years after he died. We can calculate a reduction of 1 to 1/6.
Is he saying that we live on a cone Earth? That is awesome.
Well, he said cone. What does he mean?
Like a cone. So it's a point at one end and flat at the other end and rounded around the sides. You know, like a rounded pyramid, a cone.
How else can we travel 11,000 k's from San Diego to Sydney, where the measurements show 15,000 to 20,000? Geez, we need to check out his math, I think. My methods are original. Yeah, okay. Your method might be original, but it's like he's copying something with the way he's not getting it right. Weird magnetic deviation that can lengthen the equator as in latitude anomaly. So he's already asserted something that's to do with the equator, the anomaly. Okay, don't try and convince me of any circumnavigations.
Oh yeah. I mean,
None have completed a full great circle. Well, to be technical, you can't. If you're doing it by plane, I don't think a plane could fly a great circle route around the Earth in one go on a full tank of petrol.
There are military planes that do.
The Voyager aircraft back in the 80s did it in one.
That too.
That did it in one go.
In one tank, yes.
In one tank. Okay.
I was going to say there are some military crafts. It takes more than one go, but they refuel them in the air.
Okay. All right. Now, that was to do with the air one. Now he's also saying circumnavigation general, so that's the air one. Now, can a boat go around the Earth in one go on a great circle route?
Maybe around Antarctica, but even there, I think you'd have to go up or down a little bit to get around a few of things, because I think Antarctica sticks up a little bit.
It couldn't do a straight line, like around the Earth, in any direction.
Well, the problem is land.
Actually,
okay.
Voyager did it virtually in a straight line. If you have a look at the orbits of satellites as well, it basically did the same track.
Right, but boats.
Boats.
Yeah, we're talking about a boat here in the water.
Yeah, round Antarctica, Cape Horn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple points where you have to go up a little bit or down a little bit.
Yeah, you can't do it in a straight. You can't do it in a great circle route, so to speak, in one line, straight line.
No.
You'd run into something eventually.
Yeah, you find the odd penguin.
Carrying its gun.
Oh, now you're going to try to do scale and ratio. Now, if we'd have wrote this out into a bit of a graph spreadsheet setup, be able to see what he's going on about with these measurements. Have to make us do all the work. One-fifth of the world is missing. Shit, what happened? Ask Google. What? What do you do when you ask Google? Oh, when we asked Google who proved the circumference of the Earth, I said Magellan did. Oops. Well, that's just a general reply you're going to get from Google unless you look into it a bit more.
Yeah.
Any question you ask Google, it just comes up with the first response depending on how the question's formulated. Hell, if anyone understood what he was going on about, let me know.
I just changed my profile picture. That's the Voyager aircraft that was used.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you used 1 tank of petrol to circumnavigate.
Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, when it took off, the wingtips on both sides broke off.
Oh.
In that.
They damaged the winglets. The thing that wingtips actually drug the runway surface. And fortunately, Dick Rutan is one hell of a pilot. He was an Air Force test pilot. And he managed to do a side slip and go ahead and take them the rest of the way off, because they were going to have to abort the mission. Otherwise they couldn't fly along with those things flapping in the breeze like they were.
Wow.
Does it have wings like the U-2s do, where they're real long, so it can take advantage of just the soaring?
Well, there's the picture of it. I'm seeing there on Scott's.
Yeah. It kind of looks similar. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'll make it bigger.
Because the U-2s
that's as big as I can
are
make
kind of interesting, because they'll fly for 23 hours and then land, refuel, and take back off, or whatever. It's real.
So
cool
it's really
to
a
see.
powered glider, really. It really isn't it, the way it's designed.
Yeah, it was a very unique design. It was designed by Burt Rutan, and he's the guy that did Spaceship One, and has been mixed up with Virgin Galactic or whatever their name is, whatever the name of that. Anyway, Dick's a guy that has been a pioneer in composite construction aircraft all his life. And he's designed all kinds of stuff, but he's the one that came up with this thing. And it was his brother Dick that flew it along with a young lady, and I can't remember what her name was at the moment. But I've met them. They've been to Oshkosh a number of times. Quite a story.
I was in high school when they did that.
And that's what I said, but that's not what happened. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't have been paying that much for her either.
What? No, that's not what I was implying. you read into that too much.
Did it work though? Did you already unmute?
Scott?
What? Yeah. What's that, Terry?
Oh, I better remove the pin.
I broke it. I didn't break anything.
Blind mute. Yep.
I'm not in charge of this stream.
Right, okay. Well, seeing if as we got that. Fred said no sound. Oh, interesting. Gas go,
Oh, they got us
go,
again.
boom, boom. I'd like to know who that is.
Yeah.
Why can't
They
gas
still
go?
not hear us.
Why can't get? Yes, they can. What? Why can't gas go up and go boom, boom? Well, the
Well,
only
I mean, if it had some force to it.
Well, in some cases, you don't want gas to go up and go boom, boom. It's me, Terry. No, I'm Terry. A person says it's me, Terry. How long have we been streaming for? I think we'll just watch Simon Dan's one, and it'll probably come up to about 3 hours by then. If anyone's got anything else, they can bring it up after this. Oh, Sam Cam.
Oh, no Lindsay today.
Sam Cam changed his name. Well, you twist my arm.
I'm not twisting. I mean, we don't have to. I was just asking.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what mood you want to be in. And do we want to start the drinking game? Well, it is beer o'clock here. But I don't usually drink on stream. Okay, where are we? This should be Flat Earth Friday. It should be.
Doing the job I do about 6 to 8 hours a day, the internet knows a lot about you, which is why we should care about our online data. And I have to admit, their HackLock system is one of the best things about Surfshark. You can use its HackLock system to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. HackLock scans various databases of leaked information and notifies its users if their data is found so they can take action. Click on the link in the description or go to surfshark.deal/SimonDan and it's extra free. King of Fails himself, Level Earth Observer. He has some issues with some lunar satellites. Away you go, buddy.
Okay, check this out. Not a lot of people know this, that NASA supposedly released satellites around the moon in 1971 during Apollo 15 and 16.
Correct. Apollo 15 launched the Particles and Fields sub-satellite, and Apollo 16 launched a similar sort of satellite as well.
And of course, there's a good reason why not a lot of people know this, because when we dig out the old footage of one of the satellite releases, it doesn't age very well at all.
Well, it has been 40 odd years, Leo.
Let's have a quick look down here. Essentially, they put two satellites supposedly in orbit around the moon in 1971 and receiving data up till 73. We get an artist's impression of one of the sub-satellites. And like I said, I've managed to dig out a bit of footage. Pretty rare, and there's a reason why it's rare, because it doesn't hold up to scrutiny and it's aged terribly.
I would say it's because we were still landing humans on a rock almost 400,000 kilometres away. These sub-satellites were relatively small news at the time.
You've got to laugh as well, even at the site here, which is NASA, telling us about this incredible achievement from back in the day. Look at the top here. Imagine the universe. This is at NASA's website. Imagine the universe. And then we've got the silhouette of a family on a cannonball flying through the vacuum. Way. So NASA are telling us we need to imagine all this heliocentric nonsense. We know this anyway. The globe's scientifically impossible. and the heliocentric space which is sighted to make the globe a reality, as we're about to see, is shocking at best.
The definition of imagine is to form a mental image. This doesn't necessarily mean it's a fabricated image, does it, LEO?
Okay, so here's the rare footage of the satellite being released around the moon by NASA in 1971. Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That's pretty good for back then.
I do hope that Level Earth Observer understands that in this particular clip, the footage has been...
That's amazing for back then.
...sped up. Not hard to see that, is it?
Now, there's a good reason,
like I said, I mean, the quality is really good.
It's
It's just the low frame
rate. It's not pushed heavily by NASA or the mainstream media.
Because it was a small submission that only lasted a matter of months, and in the meantime, humans were still going to the moon.
Just come back a smidge. Shocking. Essentially, all I see here, let me pause that for a second. All I see there is some old geezer in a dark room with a drill, with a bent drill bit, and a little spacecraft attached to his bent drill bit, and the cameraman is slowly moving away from, let's say, Fred, with his drill as he spins his toy spacecraft around on his wonky drill bit. Look here.
Nobody wants to hear about his bent
Shocking.
drill bit.
Oh dear. He clearly doesn't understand that that's sped up footage, does he? A man with a drill. There's a reason that they speed it up. The footage otherwise would be pretty boring to watch, wouldn't it? And as the rotation of that sub-satellite won't be perfect, then as it's sped up, it does appear to wobble a bit.
No wonder this incredible, so-called incredible achievement is not pushed. Because it is, or would have been, an amazing achievement putting satellites around the moon. But like I said, when we look at the footage, essentially all it is Fred with an old drill bit in a dark room, spinning a spacecraft around on a wonky drill bit. Ridiculous! Even NASA are telling you on their website, imagine the universe, and they put a silhouette of a family on a cannonball going, waving.
Can you pause it real quick?
I was just going to say, if he was in a dark room, where's the light source? If you're in a dark room.
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah, how are you lighting up just the satellite?
Yeah, in a dark room. Yeah.
Yeah, in a dark room without CGI, because you can't green screen it or anything. But
use infrared light and capture it with an infrared filter.
Okay. But also, he's like, this would have been amazing achievement to put a satellite around the moon. By that time, not really. We had put satellites around the Earth. Putting them around the moon isn't anything special. I mean, us making it to the moon and landing on the moon and having people on the moon was a much bigger achievement. And we had been doing that for a while, and we're, like Simon Dan said, still doing that at that time. So having a satellite orbit the moon at the same time would have been probably a rather small thing compared to everything else going on.
But you deny the technology and the achievements of things like that, and then what about when things like a telephone for your car came along at a certain time period, and people think, I've got a telephone in your car. Oh, you can't have a telephone in your car. Don't be absurd. That'd be the same denial, same attitude.
Well, it's more of so telephones for your car come out, then cell phones come out, and then now that cell phones are common, they put a radio in your car, or somebody with a cell phone also has a car phone. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, sure, you've got a car phone, but I mean, we've got cell phones. Like I'm not saying that wasn't, a cool thing, but we had been doing stuff like that for years at that point. Like that wasn't new. That wasn't like, okay, it was around a different object, but the math's all the same on it. It wasn't that special. I mean, important, yes, and the science and stuff from it is great. I'm not trying to downplay it in that aspect, but I'm just saying, like, Like it wasn't as big of an achievement compared to the other things that were going on at the same time.
Well, my point being is, how do you deny one thing and then accept others in the technology and all that? And
saying that we were getting to the moon, but we couldn't put a satellite around it or something.
Ridiculous.
I wonder if one day Level Earth Observer is going to look back on his videos and think, what was I doing? Who knows? Right, we move on, and Flat Earth Proof Machine, Mr. Dean Wright, is back. Let's see what he's got to say this time.
Good afternoon, people. Beautiful day today. Crisp, clear winter's afternoon down on the beach. And I can see a lot of detail. Here we go. This rock here.
Oh, I wouldn't say you could see a lot of detail. Can anyone else see what I'm seeing?
It looks pretty foggy to me.
I can see a bit of
kind
refraction.
of fuzzy.
I can see a bit of refraction and everything. If you zoomed in any further, you'll see it. You'll see it. You can see it from here even.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some refraction, but I was saying it's also pretty fuzzy.
Away. It should be over 300 feet of curvature.
Well, he can't keep the camera
where
still
to start
either.
here? First off, there seems to be some serious Fata Morgana going on in this image. A Fata Morgana is a form of superior mirage which appears to flip the object on the horizon as you look at it. Secondly, how tall is that rock you're looking at? What if it's taller than 300 feet? Then you would see it, wouldn't you?
Or more. Yeah, we see it. There's a little bit of haze, light bouncing off the ocean. It gives you that sort of hazy look to it.
No, I'm getting a dizzy.
And I'm going to pan right.
Camera.
A couple of containers there, you see them? This is what happens with the light bouncing off the ocean surface. Makes it a little bit hazy. Same here with this one as well.
Is that what you call the Fata Morgana when you get the gap underneath it, like it's the mirroring above the surface? Is that one?
Yeah.
But as again, it's sitting on an apparent horizon. And this one here is 15 miles away.
So what? It's clearly elevated. Why wouldn't you see it?
I want to keep panning right and see what we can get in the shot. Coastline, hills, snow, boats. 3 mile marker there, the red one. I'm just going to zoom in on that. There you go. I'm going to keep panning right.
So what's his point so
These
far?
hills here, they're about 20 miles away, 22 miles away.
And what's the key word there, Dean? Hills.
Can Flat Earthers please invest in tripods?
Keep panning.
Yeah,
houses on this other side of the shore as well. Just zooming a bit on there.
Gonna get motion sickness.
I mean, come on, guys. It's flat. Defy anybody to show me any curvature at all, anywhere. The only curvature that is brought into people's minds is the curvature of the model, the heliocentric model, the ball Earth model. It's all models.
Meanwhile, Flat Earth can't even supply an accurate map.
15 miles away. It's all pseudoscience, reification fallacies, and formological fallacies. This is what our world is made up of.
Formological? Is that even a word?
I don't know.
Lies and models. There you go.
This one was invented by a writer.
Well done, Dean. You have succeeded in failing even harder than usual. Right, next up is Mr. Eric DeBay. He has a new Flat Earth movie coming out called Level, and we're going to watch the trailer.
In a world that tells us science has been settled.
I love that he's using a movie trailer voice guy. Also, science has never claimed to be settled. First lie, 12 seconds.
We tell them the journey has merely begun.
Wouldn't say that. Still a lot to learn, but it's not just begun.
It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled.
How ironic. Eric spends his day fooling people into thinking that the Earth is flat, and then his supporters come onto my channel telling me that Eric can beat me in a boxing match.
For years now.
I'm worried about that music.
Then
that'll be the only thing I can't play.
For the man that started it all.
You should be fine.
Copernicus didn't start it all. He was an important part of the process, of course, but there were others before him.
Real science proves water finds and maintains its own level. It doesn't matter who tries to sell you the idea that oceans are curving around a ball.
Guarantee if you zoom in on that image enough, you'll see a curve. Much like Soundly's work here.
Yeah.
Miss Soundly.
There is no curvature. No matter how high you go on an airplane, or if you strap a camera to a weather balloon, the results are always the same, unless you attach a fisheye lens to the camera. But that one-trick pony is coming to an end.
Unless you're Mr. Sensible, who didn't use a fisheye camera.
Yep. Exactly.
Oops, Eric.
This spring, find out how.
Yeah, the people have tried to debunk that one, the Mr. Sensible's one.
Yeah, watching Mr. Sensible's reviews of their debunks is great.
Say again, please. Houston, we have a problem.
I cannot wait. I am going to pull every single minute of this film apart. I'm going to put so much effort into it that when you search for this film, you'll be finding the debunk of it from me first. Not going away, Eric. By the way, let's look at the poster for the film quickly. Look at the top. Dave Murphy's in it. Hope you gave him enough urine, and it features Del too. Awesome. Okay, last up is Zatetic Flat Earth, who wants to show us Flat Earth proof number 29, time zones. Away you go, buddy.
Flat Earth proof 29, time zones. Time zones are said to be caused by the rotation of the ball Earth, so that when one side of the ball faces the sun, that side is experiencing day, whilst the opposite side experiences night.
The rotation of the Earth itself doesn't cause time zones. They're obviously a human construct to help us arrange and organise days and dates.
On the Flat Earth model, however, the sun is much closer to the Earth than claimed by modern science, acting more like a local spotlight overhead as it revolves around the central pole in 24-hour cycles, illuminating the areas beneath it.
My problem with that is, how does the sun know how far to throw its light during different times of the year? Weird.
Then disappearing beyond the scope of the observer's perspective as it moves farther away, creating the illusion of sunrise and sunset.
Again, why does the angular size of the sun not change as it sets and rises?
An interesting side note, further demonstrating that this phenomenon occurs on a flat plane as opposed to a ball, is that on a ball, 12 o'clock noon in the summer would wind up shifting, becoming 12 o'clock midnight in the winter, and vice versa.
Well, no. 12 noon is 12 noon, no matter what time of year it is.
Additionally, at northern latitudes, the Arctic phenomenon known as the midnight sun frequently illuminates parts of the Earth.
Can you pause it for a second? So, if we measured a day by exactly 360 degrees of rotation, that wouldn't be far off from being understandable, but Yeah, we actually measure a little bit past 360-degree turn because we want a day to be where the sun gets back to relatively the same spot, lighting up the same area, I guess would be the best way to put it. So obviously, like, we tell time in such a way where noon's not going to shift that much from
on a side note, did you know the Earth,
day.
I don't know if it's slowing down or speeding up a few milliseconds, so your clocks are going to be out for a while.
I think it is slowing down because I know every few years they add
20 odd years
a
or
leap
so
second.
it changes, they said. Something like that. 20 years?
Yeah.
Sides of the North Pole simultaneously.
Like
yeah, but it's only a few milliseconds. Jeez, how much? You can hardly... You watch. I don't think your watches are even going to be worried about it.
For periods...
Well, I know. Yeah, there's that, and also because the rotation isn't exact, they have to add a leap second every few years. It's not every 4 years. It's something greater than that. It's either the 10 or the 20 years that you were talking about.
You mean the same principle as what we had to do with the poor calendar?
Lasting up to several days.
Yeah.
But in Antarctica, the sun has never been shown to illuminate lands on opposite sides of the alleged geographical South Pole simultaneously.
What? To illuminate the what on the geographical South Pole at the same time? All of the Antarctica is illuminated. That's the 24-hour sunlight video you see. Huh?
Frequently illuminates parts of the Earth on opposite sides of the North Pole simultaneously for periods lasting up to several days. But in Antarctica, the sun has never been shown to illuminate lands on opposite sides of the alleged geographical South Pole simultaneously, whilst
That's what I'm trying to work out, what he means by simultaneously.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but there's loads of videos on YouTube showing the 24 hours.
I've got one here put away even. Yeah, I've got one put away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did they live stream it? Because I mean, if it wasn't live streamed.
Yeah, he's just showing his ignorance of not doing research on it before he said anything.
Oh, I bet he did research, and then he ignored it and put out the movie to make money. Like, I don't. Dubé seems to be one of those that doesn't actually believe it. He's just in it for the money.
Unedited videos featuring the Antarctic midnight sun remain elusive even now.
Yeah, this is the one I got. I think this is the one.
And because I'm in Tasmania,
which way? Sorry, you better.
Well, I was just going to say, because I live in Tasmania, if I look south at midnight,
so
I
investigate
can see the twilight of the sun from Antarctica. Like, it looks like the sun's coming up, but it's not. Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. You'll have to show a compass with a photograph of that if you get able to do it ever. To see, you see the astronomical twilight on the horizon.
Yeah, you can only just see it. Like it's nothing. If you look, you'll see it. But it basically just looks like the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
But it's not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like the astronomical twilight just before this. Yeah, I know what you mean.
The subject for yourself and ask questions.
Yep, done that. There's no issue. This appears to be one of the weakest flat earth proofs that I've ever seen, and that's saying something. Well, there we go. Flat Earth Fail 20 is all finished, and I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure to bring you 20 Flat Earth Fail compilations. So I ask again, after another 10 compilations, Do we continue this series? Head to my Twitter now, where there's a poll and you can have your say. Thank you very much for watching today. If you enjoyed it, then please do like and subscribe as well. It'd be thoroughly appreciated. Just enough time to once again thank Surfshark for sponsoring. Remember, click on the link in the description or visit surfshark.deals/SimonDan and use my code SimonDan to get 83% off and 3 months free. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday for more tinfoil fun. See you then.
Yeah. It's sort of like a game of tennis over the last couple of years. The Flurfist with their stuff, then we give them the facts and all that, and we're just hitting it back and forward to each other.
But they don't really bring any evidence. They just bring things that think are evidence because they've made it up.
Yeah, they just reach back right behind them and grab some stuff that's been rehashed or that's been done before and go, oh yeah, well here. Oh jeez, we've already gone through all this. I don't really want to have any more for you at the moment. It's getting... We've been streaming long enough for me for today. Unless anybody else out there's got anything or in here. I did have a blue...
I think somebody...
I did have a couple of blue videos that I was going to play. I could play one.
Yeah, I gotta scroll back up. Somebody said somebody had just dropped a video.
Oh yeah, I read that. Brandon Toy.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah. They
he's not that important.
They didn't give me the link, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if you want to actually play it, but.
Oh, I'd have a quick look at it if I had the link for it, but I don't think I've got the link for it. I'd have to go searching for it. Well, if anyone finds the link for it while I play this video, we'll see how we go.
So no Lindsay and
well, I can't do everything. I can't do everything at once.
Really like to make us suffer, don't you, Mute?
I just want to know what he's drawing on his whiteboard. He's got black hole vortexes and cones and boobs
and boobs.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk amongst yourselves for 5-10 seconds. I've got to change me hearing aid battery things.
Oh, okay. You know, it's always exciting to see, you know, if he's going to end a video or if it's just going to end on him. That's the best part.
So much better when they just end on him too. And then you got to remember too, half the time I don't think he can even remember where he picks up from when he did the last video.
No, not.
Alan.
Alright, I think I'm back.
Yeah, okay, right. Well, yep, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I don't want me brain hurting too much today for Lindsay or whatever.
Okay, we'll save him then.
You saved me brain.
Yeah, I was gonna not bring that up because I don't think Terry likes political stuff normally on his channel.
Nah, political stuff's more it's more central to the person that it's affected by or their environmental stuff.
Yeah,
it's not a general thing that's for everyone. It doesn't affect me or it doesn't affect somebody else. Well, that's how I look at it.
Hey, heat shield.
Where? Oh, heat shield's out there.
In the chat.
In the chat, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. He must have come in late. I didn't see him.
Yeah, I think he just came in.
Mhm.
Or if he's been in, he's been being quiet.
Yeah. What am I missing? Oh, that one. That should be there. There we go.
Is this the guy in Michigan?
Hello, everybody.
Is this the guy from
Blue
Michigan?
Marble Science.
I think he's a little south.
Southwest. So I don't know if he's
Southeast. I think. I don't know exactly where.
No, I
Blue
think Blue's more
lives.
southwest more than southeast.
Is he
This pair
Texas?
of mental midgets tried to take
Not that far.
on Gravity and Cavendish, and they failed in
Might
epic
be a little bit
fashion.
more southeast then.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking the geographical. Might be southeast then. If Michigan's over further than what I think.
Warning.
Yeah, Michigan's
Severe facial and monitor
pretty
damage
far over because
alerts
it's on the
will
west side
take
of the
out those
Great
overhead
Lakes.
push
Right.
monitors
Okay. Yeah, I
back
was a
out of
little bit
punching
out. I
range.
might be a little bit out there.
And let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
Might be directly south even.
It looks like the
Maybe.
Cavendish experiment has Nathan and Anthony.
I don't know.
in Absolute.
I don't believe that.
It's just like how long we
I'll
went
tell
on
you
about
what,
that.
Get used to it, boys. It's going to get worse. Listen to this nonsense.
I know, but I'm too excited. I've got to share this with you. Hillbilly Blue Balls. He's recreated the Cavendish experiment. That's not an experiment. Measuring a force. It's not a force anymore. And obviously he loves Cavendish because he spent a lot of time. And to be fair, his build is really cool. I mean, he's got the kind of man cave that most people would die for. Loads of machinery in there. His garage is bigger than my bloody house. But anyway, this is what he said about his Cavendish experiment repetition. He says,
My garage is bigger.
I mean, that's important. You got to brag about your garage.
We of course.
And I could have fitted a taller Cavendish experiment in it too, I reckon.
I've already seen undeniable proof of mass attracting mass. It works 100% of the time, and that qualitative result, I wonder where he got that phrase from, is beyond question. But of course, the object of all of this isn't simply to show that mass attracts mass. That is a given. So he's claiming to debunk Einstein. The object is to accurately measure the universal gravitational constants using a close replica of the equipment originally used by Cavendish. And then he starts to describe it all. So from Hillbilly Blue Ball's perspective, he thinks that his mass attracting mass is a given and it works 100% of the time. I guess he hasn't realised that it was debunked in World War I. Shout out to Einstein and his theory of general relativity.
The sleeping warrior who was just talking, I call him Sloppy. And Nathan Oakley, I call him Slappy. Won't go into the reason for that.
Slappy and sloppy.
Have been desperately trying to make this case for a long time now. They want you to think that Einstein superseded Newton.
He did
so
not.
I thought, well, is that true? Did Einstein really supersede Newton? And who better to ask than Einstein? Let no one suppose, however, that the mighty work of Newton can really be superseded by this or any other theory. His great and lucid ideas will retain their unique significance for all time as the foundation of our whole modern conceptual structure in the sphere of natural philosophy. Albert Einstein, The London Times, November 28th, 1919. Will you guys just shut up?
Can I lay down a challenge for him?
Creepy levels of delusion here.
Hold on.
Really creepy.
Before we get to the personal attack.
So you're planning a personal attack, Nathan? Why does that not surprise me?
So he says, quote, it works 100% of the time.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to see a calculation for that mass attracting mass using Einstein's field equations.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Slappy. You should take Einstein's field equations and calculate the attraction between the masses in my Cavendish experiment, and then I can test it and tell you if you got the right answer or not. Personally, I would be just as happy if you could tell us what the internal angles of an equilateral triangle are.
100% of the time.
I'd like to see the independent variable being manipulated, you know, like I did, to prove the cause of the effect of the accelerating egg. I'd like to see the thing that he manipulated, because otherwise he's just calculating
the accelerating egg.
That's all it is.
The incredible accelerating egg.
I've got that screenshot. Talking about yourself for a second, I'll go and grab my iPad, and he was in my chat discussing it, and I asked him what his independent and dependent variable are. Do you want me to clarify them for you?
Yeah, go on.
Give me a minute.
No, not the independent.
He's going to say, I just watched it. Can you imagine if I just watched... Yeah, Meekin, are you there, Meekin?
I'm back now. I just missed all that. Bloody shot rang.
Ah.
Sorry.
I think Nathan's back.
What?
Yeah, while Nathan's not. Adam, do you agree with me that when the egg is sat in that neutral position where it's neither one nor the other, it's in the middle, do you agree that that's undergoing the effects of Brownian motion, right?
This is Brownian motion, Anthony. This is what makes an ink drop slowly spread out in a glass of water. Your egg is not being pushed around by Brownian motion, you knucklehead.
Brownian motion is oh god, man, that's a step back in the past. Brownian motion is particulate action used as an analogy to gas behaviour, as I remember from back in school days. But it's just tiny little smoke particles colliding, but it's analogous to gas behaviour.
Yeah, that's what but it also applies to, because gases and liquids are considered to be fluids. It applies to fluids as well, because the fluids are never technically stationary; they're always technically moving. Do you agree?
Yeah. They're free to flow over each other. They move over each other.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if the egg is undergoing Brownian motion because of the contact or the collisions between the pressured particles that are flowing in the liquid, then that is omnidirectional by definition. What omnidirectional force will be applied against the egg? And they're all going to say buoyancy, but that's directional, so it can't be buoyancy, and that's based on gravity, which is not a force, even though they think of it as a force. So it can't be that, but the egg's undergoing Brownian motion. What is that force that's causing the Brownian motion? And the answer is pressure. But they can't tell us that because they don't want it to be pressure. Because as I add more mass, that increases the density, which creates more pressure below the egg, because salt's more dense than the egg. And that is where the upthrust comes from, that they miscalculate and misappropriate from buoyancy. But we know it's caused by pressure. So they can't admit that Brownian motion acting on the egg, the omnidirectional nature of Brownian motion, is caused by pressure. Because when I add more mass, that increases the pressure below. They can't admit it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Can I ask you a question, Anthony?
Sure.
Can you have fluid pressure without a container?
No, it'd fall all over the place, wouldn't it? It'd seek its lowest immediate volume or place based on its environment. So it'd be silly. Couldn't do my egg test without the glass. That'd be ridiculous.
You can't really technically have any kind of pressure, so to speak, without, or some kind of liquid or fluid pressure without without a
Oh god, pause it.
No, it's like I've...
What? Oh, sorry, I was trying to catch up with the chat.
Yeah, that's a whole nother mess. They're swapping liquid, fluid, air, pressure around. I don't think they know that air, liquid, and some solids are all fluids. And liquids and gases are, I said air, but gases are different. And yes, you can have any type of fluid pressure without a container, because the pressure doesn't come from it pushing up against the walls. It comes against it pushing up against the molecules that it's made up of. It's that simple. I'm sorry, that's all frustrating. Because it's the same dribble that they always go on with. So I don't know if you want to continue or you want to address the chat or whatever.
I can't understand what they're going on about. Did somebody say something and then somebody argued Terry? What? I'm just scrolling back up trying to see if I can catch on.
Yeah, one's death.
One's death said, my original comment about word definitions was response to what Terry said about the use of a word on one of those stupid vids.
Yeah, he said up above. Where's the first one? Nope, that's not. Oh, yeah, I don't know what he was responding to you on, but he said the libtards have started changing the definition of words, and then it all goes from there or whatever.
Which I've got no idea what that means. So speak English, and I might be able to understand.
Libtards like saying liberal idiots.
Well, that's not speaking English. That's just using your own words. Use words that everyone knows.
I mean, he said the example he gave was what an Australian BOM, which I'm gonna say is minister of something. I don't know what your.
I don't know what
BOM
that is. What he's referring to.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Bureau of Meteorology.
Yeah, BOM's a Bureau of Meteorology here.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, but it said unprecedented to mean if it hasn't happened in over 20 years or whatever. I don't know if that's the Bureau of Meteorology. I don't know how they're libtards or how that has anything to do with any. The whole thing is like them complaining about him using the word libtards, and then them complaining that him complaining that they're complaining, and them complaining that he's complaining, and it's a mess.
It's not. Don't worry about the peanut gallery death. I just don't understand the context of what the arguments are being. From what I'm gathering is, Death said something like libtard in reference to a political statement, and blending that with to do with flat turd and flatard or whatever, which doesn't make sense to me, because political is a personal opinion, isn't it? Or not personal opinion, a personal choice in politics or something.
Yeah, preference.
Yeah, preference. That's it. Okay. So if you want to get political out in the peanut gallery, keep that to yourself.
Having the upside down glass on the underside of the shelf and filling it with helium, because obviously helium's more dense than the medium it's less dense than the medium it's in, so it'll want to rise. To stop it from filling that void above you, which it's wanting to go into, it is going to need a container of some kind. To think that you can keep that gas in this area without containment is just ridiculous.
Exactly, Blue.
Okay.
Hold on. I've tried 3 times. Hold on, please.
I've got it up on screen now. So I'll just give you his claimed IV and DV. Which one do you want first? DV or IV?
DV, please. What was his DV?
His dependent variable is measured force of attraction.
Measured force of attraction. Oh, right, okay. So wouldn't that be his hypothesis, though? He claims that there is a measured force of attraction.
He's giving that as his dependent variable. He's begging the question fallacy that he's trying to prove with the experiment is actually his claimed dependent variable.
Okay, so now I want to know, how did he prove it by manipulating said presumed cause?
Do you want to know what his presumed cause is? His independent variable is distance between two masses. So according to him, if distance between two masses, then measured force of attraction.
So we're back to the correlative calculations fallacy, isn't it? So basically, Einstein and Newton both calculated correlative effects. I also calculated a correlative effect. That makes 3 calculative correlative effects that are relative to things called acceleration on Earth. The only difference is Newton and Einstein both stopped and fell short with a demonstration or experiment, whereas I continued on and I demonstrated by manipulating my presumed cause that an acceleration would occur. Newton and Einstein stopped at them calculations. Oops.
Oh my God. Did you just try to equate yourself with Newton and Einstein, Anthony? Good Lord, boy. You couldn't win a foot race in the Special Olympics.
So while it settles down, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, that's coming in at 212 parts per million, tap water. Don't know what that means, it's just a number. It could be unicorn farts, it's just a tap.
That's classic. That's classic.
Yeah. Pause it. I don't know what that means, it's just a number. What the?
Yeah, shh, don't talk over Blue, you'll get in trouble.
One somehow or the other. That was maybe the most embarrassing thing I've ever watched in my life, Anthony. You might as well have claimed that waving your hand over the top of the glass is what caused the egg to move. Tell you what, let's skip forward and listen to a little exchange that went on between Nathan and the Rumpus.
Yes, Nathan, do you genuinely not understand the independent variables in the Cavendish experiment?
Yeah, we're going
No,
we don't understand what you want us to understand. We don't understand.
Okay, I know you're stupid, but I mean, even but the variables in the Cavendish experiment are so simple. The fact that you claim you don't agree with them, either means you're so stupid you don't understand some very simple things, or you're trying to deceive your audience.
I'm getting preemptive ad homs in. So you have had the independent variable detailed when you were put to task by QE, and he wrote down what you claimed was the independent variable, and you gave it as mass.
Yeah, well, you can depart.
Right, just a yes will do, because now I'll point out that independent means on its own. That would be the independent variable. Well, according to Hillbilly Blue Balls, his independent variable is distance. Not mass, but distance.
You can choose one of 3.
Can you? Is that what independent means? Oh, wow, I've got a totally different understanding of what independent means.
I know, because
I bet he does.
Oh, really? Does independent mean a choice of 3?
Yes.
No, it doesn't, you absolute moron.
Listen.
No, I won't listen. I'll tell you that you're a thicko.
There he goes.
If you think independent, that means on its own, alone, means a choice of 3.
There are 3 causes.
Then they're not independent.
Either one of the
Newton,
3 to make them
independent.
3 independent, what, like 3 Lone Rangers?
There are 3
Lone Rangers, right?
There are 3
Lone Rangers and 3 independent variables. Let's get something absolutely clear. Rumpus tells us that the independent variable in Cavendish is mass. Hillbilly Blue Balls, on the other hand...
You keep calling me Hillbilly Blue Balls, and they're going to be calling you Nathan No Balls.
Tells us that it's distance. Well, they're 2 different things. Not independent in the slightest.
Independent variables in Newton's universe.
Variables? What do you mean variables? If it's independent, it's on its own, you absolute clown.
In an experiment, you fix 2 of them to make them controlled variables, leaving you with 1 remaining independent variable.
And that would be your presumed cause. Well, that then is singular, on its own, alone, your presumed cause of the effect. Well, if the effect is being caused by a singular independent variable, then it's not something else. And you and Hillbilly Blue Balls have got totally different independent variables, making a mockery of your claimed science.
No Balls, you're an absolute idiot. You just claimed that nothing can ever have more than 1 cause. Do you realize how stupid that is? What is wrong with you?
Who's to fix 2 of the masses, and that leaves you with 1 independent variable in the experiment, because you've got the 2 other ones become controlled variables, and so he changed the distance, but he...
Well, they're different things. So you've got mass and distance. Well, they're 2 things. That's not independent. You're just thick.
Clearly, Nathan Oakley doesn't understand the scientific method, so let's see if we can help him out. But before we do that, let me remind you that Cavendish did not do this to try to prove gravity existed. That's a given. We know what it is, and we know what causes it. Cavendish was literally determining the density of the Earth, but using the same experiment and all of the same information and data collected, you can compute a value for the universal gravitational constant. So this is the way it goes if you want to use the experiment as a method of proving that mass attracts mass. That is the observed phenomenon. The hypothesis is two masses will attract each other with a force that obeys Newton's law of gravity. In other words, that force will be proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. I just listed three variables. We'll call those system variables: distance and the magnitude of two masses. Now this happens all the time in physics and actual science. Not so much when you're just playing with an egg and a glass of salt water. When we have a situation like this, what we do is simply fix two of those variables and call them control variables. We don't change them. We only change the third one. For me, the easiest thing to change is the distance between the masses. So that is my independent variable. The magnitude of the two masses are the control variables, and the dependent variable is going to be the measured force of attraction that provides a value for the universal gravitational constant. So let's see what happens when we actually run this experiment. Here's a preliminary test I ran a couple of days ago. The torsion balance was allowed to sit overnight and stabilize, and it was showing a steady reading of about 242 millimeters. Now you'll see it move a little bit right at first because just my presence out there setting up the time lapse is enough to disturb it. But about 45 minutes into this, I actually moved the weights from the west position to the east position, and when I do that, you'll see a very dramatic change in the behavior of this thing. So those radical oscillations are what happens when we move the weights from one side to the other side. And you'll see over a period of time the oscillations slowly subside, and eventually it's going to come to a point of rest at about 201 or 201.5 millimeters. So what does that mean in terms of our calculations? This is a spreadsheet that incorporates the formula we just derived for calculating the gravitational constant. Previously, I had measured the oscillation period of that balance to be 1079.9 seconds. Now, using the two resting points from that test a couple of days ago, I calculate the gravitational constant to be 6.629 times 10 to the minus 11th. That's within about 0.5% of the accepted value. Have we demonstrated a force of attraction between two masses? You betcha. And stay tuned, there's a lot more testing to come. Hey, thanks for watching. And remember, when we say how stupid can you be, that isn't a challenge, that's a question.
Exactly.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Shout out to the Patreons and the PayPals that have helped us out with Cavendish. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Well, they're just numbers. We don't know what they mean.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Three different variables.
ppm. What is that? I mean, it's.
So 3 line ranges.
We have three variables. We can make any one of them independent. No, you can't.
But it wouldn't be independent then, would it?
Why can I not? And I mean, if I isolated it from the other two, I think it would be. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
I can come up with 5 or 6 more if you like. I mean, wouldn't be that hard to do.
Right.
I could call temperature an independent variable too. Use it as a control variable, but then vary it intentionally to see if it has an effect. I could do the same thing with humidity.
You're missing one.
Same thing.
You're missing one
I
independent
could do the
variable.
same thing with barometric pressure.
You're missing one independent variable that you haven't used yet. Have you tried turning the light off?
No, that's that. Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Exactly.
Well, we could try that. We could also use the position of the apparatus. We could reorient it.
Oh, north, south, east, west, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay.
We could do that.
Time of year.
This can keep going and on and on and on.
Yeah, the time of year shouldn't matter because the temperature's controlled. I suppose would that be a problem?
Well, I mean, distance from the sun and other objects. I mean, not that they would have that big of an effect on it, but you could
the
say,
time of day.
right,
Yeah, the time of day if the sun's out. Is it midday or is it midnight? And full moon.
Yeah, or is it a full moon or a new
See,
moon?
Blue, you're going to be doing this for the next few years, Blue. I tell you.
Yeah, it can go on for a long time. It really can.
You're gonna need a bigger shed.
And like a bigger boat. You're going to do a bigger shed. Yeah.
We'll need a bigger couch to sleep on. That's for sure. If this thing goes on a couple more years, I probably just need a doghouse to sleep in.
Mrs. Blue should be patient.
Mrs. Blue is not going to get too
okay.
amused at that damn thing getting out of here by about summertime.
She's gonna want her garage back.
Yeah.
Well, it's not for the truck, that's for sure.
Truck wouldn't fit anyway.
Okay. Well, do you want to watch Blue's other one so we can catch up on Blue's, or we'll leave that for another couple of days if I stream again? Because we've got Oakley, Riley and Kiwi, so we've already done an Oakley and Riley, so we're not going to have to put up with them twice in 2 videos back to back.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Probably the best.
Yeah, I won't do that back to back. Because I'm only slowly getting back to. I'm only slowly getting back to streaming, so a little bit at a time. Well, I think we might leave it there, Mr. Gentleman and Mrs. Gentleman's.
Gentlewomen. Heat Shield's got a Jimi Hendrix model. Oh, that's cool.
What do you mean a Jimi Hendrix model?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the guitar or a model of Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, model.
Or a model named after Jimi Hendrix.
Hmm.
So we had some latecomers turn up in the peanut gallery by the look of it. Alan's gone to sleep, so I'll just end up kicking him out of the live stream. Steve finally got his avatar up, which you'll have to crop that, Steve, so it actually comes down a bit.
Yeah.
Top and bottom, but it's a good one. I like it. You'll sort that out. Is that going to be your new one?
I'll have it ready by next time.
Is that going
I'm going to keep using that from now on.
Yeah, will look cool on my live streams. That one.
Cool.
Donkey's going to keep using his one by the look of it. Blue will never change the orientation of his globe image there because it's not showing Australia. Anyway, what do we got out there? I love how there was a horrible argument when I showed up and everyone's, well, we don't rehash things, Heat Shield, jeez. Anyway, shout out to Jinx You. Ooh. Heat Shield turned up, John Rapp's out there, Skydiver Turner, Facty. Oh, I've got to scroll up. John Rapp, Heat Shield, Mute Donkey. What are you doing out there? Howie's out. Oh, Howie dropped, did he? sir?
I'm everywhere.
Okay. Shady. Renee Mead. I'll scroll up, do I? Who do I miss? I thought, oh, Huey, how come you're naked out there? If you changed your, is that a sock account? Because unless you haven't been in the peanut gallery since I'd done my last, what do you call it, thing? Where I got rid of all the spanners. Okay. Is it your sock or is it your, because you've got, usually it's just Huey, isn't it? Oh, Monk's out there. You're a bit late, Monk. Did you know I was streaming today? I sent out the notification yesterday. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Do a quick scroll off, see who else I've missed. Oh, thanks, sir, for that video of the ship over the horizon thing. We played that. No, I can't see any. If I missed anyone, oh, Sean Hawkins was out there. Hey, Sean, if you're still there. No, I'm scrolling up too far now.
Huey says that is him, so
there.
that might be his.
His
real account.
Is it? What did he say? Who? What? Where?
Huey? He said, no, it's me, Terry, so that might be his real account.
Sam Cam. Yeah, you've got a spanner, Sam, but not the gas go down good beam. That was your sock, so you definitely don't get a spanner. I know Surf tried to pull that bloody trick on me.
Yeah, and he named them both the same, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah. I just timed them both out. Where's your buddy Sean Bowton? I don't know, he hasn't come back in the peanut gallery. I know he stuck his head in and then ducked out again. Yeah, you meet these few people over on that thing that I play. Alright guys, I'll probably go over to Discord for a little while if anyone's going to be there or still there. You know the links to that. If not, let me know and I'll get you one. A bit warm here today, if anyone wants to know the weather report.
Yeah, come on, what do you got? I'll tell you what I got.
We're talking about weather.
30 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. I can go by what my telephone says. What's my telephone say? You know how old I am when I say it's a telephone.
Alright, I still got a wireless in the shed.
Yeah, I've got a wireless in the shed. And I've got a TV too. 27 at Fern Hill. But it's not. It's a slight bit of breeze and wispy clouds around. I don't know if it's going to rain or not.
Yeah, it's so still here and muggy.
Oh, that's worse. I hate it when it's dead still.
I mean, it's almost that here, but in Fahrenheit.
What's that ancient language you're speaking?
Ancient?
Fahrenheit,
yeah. You say that when Celsius is older than Fahrenheit.
Well, obsolete then. Antiquated.
Yeah, that's yep.
I'll think of it right.
It's better.
Nah, fractions suck.
Fractions?
I hated fractions when I was at school. Yeah, that's with the imperial system with the fractions and everything.
That's the great thing about Fahrenheit is you don't have to go into fractions and decimals. Celsius, the temperatures are so squished together that you need to do it's point whatever. difference?
I think
I know
someone
the
needs
30 degrees and 30 degrees point 9. It's still bloody hot.
I do have one question for Gary before we go. He'll probably never answer
God.
it. Gary, what is your definition of between the two words, a container or contained? I'll just leave you with that.
Oh.
There
I
we
see.
go.
See, I thought you were gonna go with what is 2 to the power of 2.
Oh, I could have asked him what 2 plus 2 was.
I want to see if he knows powers.
Austin Powers.
No.
Anyway, on
exponents.
that note, thanks panel for dropping in, and say goodnight, Peanuts.
Hey, Peanuts.
No, guys.
Okay, I'll see you later, guys. Don't ask me when I'm streaming again.
Night.